Someone is breaking all the rules.
There's a chance it's you, right?
Yeah, but no, it's also a chance it's Amy. And then, well, I saw you while I was breaking one of the other rules, so you're involved in that sense.
Me?
Yeah. You're an accomplice. Sarah's an accomplice.
She was alive and within my scope of sight when that rule was being changed.
Oh, that makes her complicit for sure.
It does.
Are you joining me in illegal activity, running red lights?
No. But yeah, I guess. Did you
Sometimes.
Did you think you got a patent on it? No. So here, wait. It's 5:46. I'm Dan Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning. Okay,
Good morning.
I'm caught up. Yeah. So
We're fantastic.
I'm so glad to hear it. I don't know where the rules started breaking. Maybe last night, and everything just fell all the hell apart. For some, Amy ordered a sushi dinner, which was a very lovely thing for me and my particular nutritional needs. You know, with her once a week sushi demands, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's particular strains of fish better. I don't know if strains is a good idea, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You were in a restaurant or you ordered for delivery?
We ordered for delivery and it didn't come after an hour 20. Now, I've already taken my evening medication. And one of those is a melatonin, which a full-blown drug addict like myself would never believe that works.
Yeah.
Here, it's $3 and it's over the counter. Your kids can buy it for you. Well, then it doesn't work. How is that possibly going to give me drugs that a kid could buy me over the counter? And why is a kid buying me drugs?
I know,
Why
it's very odd. You don't
story's super weird.
But you've discovered it does work.
What does work?
Melatonin.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Boom, like a rock. So anyway, we ordered sushi last night, and we have a lot of rules about food. Almost all of our rules are meant to enhance having a decent time. Like it's something's okay or even fun with this rule, mostly for the most part. And one is our leftover rule. Is once it hits the fridge, you can't write your name on it. This isn't the office. Shut up.
It's for anybody.
That's for anybody who went. I don't care if you went to bed with these words on your lips. Oh, that one last piece of pizza. That'll make me eat it faster because we have rules. You can't do that. You can't lay claim to left.
First come, first served.
Right. So we've had a couple of oddly rules about food going on. So we had sushi delivered, and about an hour 40 into it, waiting for the delivery, an hour 40, and she's a good customer. They come and say, hey, you're not getting any sushi, but we'll give you $20.
Oh.
So she hung up.
What was the reason?
That they gave her $20 because the meal didn't come.
Why couldn't they show up?
I don't know.
Ran out of fish?
Super weird.
Ran out of fish, probably.
I don't know that we use Grubhub or whatever it is, but the people that are delivering my food these days are no longer have anything to do with the restaurant we called.
Yeah.
That's yesterday. This is today.
Right.
It's their job. I think it's like first call. It's like the fire department, really, I think. They say, Bonaduce wants food. Let's bid on who gets it and race to his house.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. And outside of maybe pizza restaurants, nobody does their own delivery.
Right. That is absolutely true. So, sushi, the rules are the same if we don't eat it all. Whoever wants it gets it after it hits the fridge, except with sushi, which should never hit the fridge. It ruins it. It's wrecked. You leave the sushi, gets there. You put it out on the counter in a kind of a cool display. It's almost as good as a home-cooked meal because it's neat and it's fancy and it's a lot of fun. There's chopsticks and soy sauce and also colorful fish. It's a good time. It's had by all. But once you put it in the fridge, the rice gets crispy in about 2 or 3 seconds. But you can't leave it out all night and go, sushi in the morning. That's pushing the bounds of good taste, I think, right there. So Amy my whole order came. So let me make that clear. So they called back and said, oh, man, we thought we delivered your sushi to the wrong house. It's right here. I'm assuming they pointed at something because they were on the phone. And Amy said, great, I assume. And she said, well, here's the thing, lady. We felt bad about your food getting ripped off by some drunk delivery guy. We made you a whole nother order. Would you like it? And she said, no. And she said, no, free of charge. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, free sushi is a wonderful thing. So I never saw the display that it was last night. But this morning I got up and, they came after I was asleep. There's a beautiful sushi tray. And like I said, soy sauce in a little tray. Soy sauce tray.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I'm letting it warm up in my backpack right now. And see, that sounds
disgusting.
it sounds bad.
It's been out overnight.
No,
Okay,
it's
it was
been
in
out
the
overnight. We'd have no problems if it had been overnight and it tasted okay. I always eat day-old sushi that's been left all night because our rule is you never can refrigerate it, and oftentimes you fall asleep without refrigerating it. So what it's going to do now is I normally eat around 8:30 in the morning. I think it'll be right back at the good temperature for delivery sushi.
That's disgusting.
I'm not sure because it's dried out. I don't know how it rehydrates. I think you got to sprinkle a little bit of water on it and then maybe pop it in the microwave.
Raw fish?
Why would it be dried out?
The rice.
It's going to be dried out. The rice is going
The
to
rice
be dried
well,
That's what
see,
makes it hard.
I think life is going to. It's either going to have the natural occurrence of water on my fish because I think. Now, I do things a little fast and loose when it comes to the sanity department, but I think sitting around putting water on my fish is not the world's best call, Paul.
Nor is nuking raw fish.
I know that. Okay, that part was maybe a joke, but the rehydrating of the rice, you got to figure out some way to do that. It's not gonna just warming itself up. It's not gonna make the rice soft.
Well, I'm not sure that you're right.
I think Paul's right.
But
Maybe the soy sauce will help. Like if you
the
put
soy
some
sauce will help.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. It's not going to make it like, oh.
I say put it on now, though.
This whole plan of rehydrating your sushi, if you will, is fraught with peril. But I'm not going to wreck it by adding stuff, Paul.
So you've got raw fish in your
Oh my
backpack
God.
that's going to sit there for 4 hours.
Hey, you had sausages in your purse for like 4 days.
didn't eat them. I threw them away.
Right. Chop on you.
And they
Nice
were
work, Paul.
Sausages, by the way.
I think you put the soy. If you don't want to add water because you think that's crazy, I think you got to put the soy sauce on now.
Well, hang on, man.
There's got to be some way that you rehydrate the rice. It's dried out
But
rice.
if you look, that looks totally like it just came off the sushi belt. or
It
something.
does. That actually, you're holding it up right now, and it actually looks pretty good.
See.
But you know that the rice is hard because it's been in the fridge.
I think man, I had so much more to talk about. And I can't believe that this is what, oh man, your sushi needs to be rehydrated.
We're concerned.
It's like a marathon runner.
Paul's right, though. The experts say when it comes to reheating rice, you're supposed to put a moistened paper towel on it to rehydrate it and put it in the microwave.
Yeah. We're saying Paul's right a lot this morning. I'm still kind of
That'll
scared.
end really quickly.
That is a concern of mine. Well, tune in later for the show we're calling What Did Danny Eat?
You're going to be one of those people that feels something wiggle in their stomach and then they go to the doctor and you find out you've got a gigantic tapeworm.
Okay, I was ready to say that happened already like 9 times in my life. But the tapeworm, I have not had a gigantic tapeworm. First of all,
did you
what would a tapeworm have to do to be huge in my body?
It grows.
Right?
It
But
never
I'm
stops
5'6" at the end of the day. What tricks does that thing have to do to be huge?
I hate to say this, but do you know how big your colon is?
I hate to say this. Yes, I do.
What is it, 36 feet?
Yes.
That's how big your tapeworm can be.
Wow.
I
that's
bet you
big
have a tapeworm in there right now.
Why would you bet that?
Because you eat old sushi.
Yeah, because this is certainly not the first time that you've eaten day-old sushi.
Well, you beat me to the punch of saying I haven't done it yet, and now I'm screwed because, of course, I've done this before. Yeah. I think I'm scrud. Get it? Scrud's kind of fish. In Boston, that's a hysterical joke. I forget
Scrud.
why, but there's a funny joke about scrud in Boston.
Yeah.
Well, maybe funny is a hard term.
Joke.
Mukilteo police are involved in a standoff situation on 94th Street Southwest this morning. Authorities are asking the public to stay clear of the area. Not much, not much information available about this right now, as this is something that has been going on for just a few hours.
I was watching it. It came on my news, and they didn't know what they really had yet. And they said what they believed to be true, which was we have a police standoff situation with the SWAT team. And then a huge bang came from the building, the house or whatever it is, and everybody on the news lost it a little bit. It was a flash grenade. It was the cops. It was us. It was the good guys.
2 motorcyclists were killed last night in a fiery collision with a car on State Route 104 in Shoreline. Witnesses said the motorcycles were traveling at a high rate of speed just prior to the crash. 2 of the 3 motorcycles in the group hit a car that was turning left. The motorcyclists were ejected. 1 was hit by a second vehicle. The 3rd motorcyclist is okay, and no one in the cars were injured.
The amount of bang that would be involved, I mean, this is a steel object and flesh and bone, unfortunately. hitting your truck at probably 100 miles an hour. There are two racer bikes, or what's left of them are two racer bikes. I tell Amy that I'm going to stop driving ever because she is such a paranoid driver. And I don't mean, that guy's too close or anything like that, which she does, but she does this. If I were to drive from here to Bellevue, she would do this. Oh! That's a little bit exaggerated, but I want you to hear it because you can't see the part. Well, you guys can, but that, something has made her slightly afraid, and she's doing maybe our tires are going to hit the curb during this parking job.
Yeah.
Her downside of that is we're all going to die in a fireball. You got to calm down. You're making me nervous, and I don't want to be in the car with this when they're called accidents. They can happen.
Sure.
And you're going to flip out and wreck it.
So she does that when you drive.
Yeah.
Is that because you're trying to sit on her lap and not drive in the driver's seat?
Yes, that is. That's what that is.
Does she feel more comfortable driving herself?
I believe so. Yeah, and I feel more comfortable. I was driving the other day, and we had that stay in your lane technology on there. Yeah. And according to that thing, I drift out of my lane every 9 feet. Oh. That woman has a right to be scared.
Police are investigating after an 8-year-old girl says 2 men stole her puppy right out of her hands. This happened on Monday about 5 o'clock. His daughter, this man's daughter, the guy talked to the press, a little girl has talked to the press, and said they were playing in their yard, and 2 men walked over, and one man said, "Can I pet your dog?" Dad says, "No, get off my lawn, leave my 2 little girls alone."
Dad said no?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And they grabbed the dog and fled, snatched the puppy from his 8-year-old daughter's hands.
Do you think it was weirdo stranger danger that the dad felt? Here's the vibe: don't let these guys touch your dog. Or puppy or not, this is a pit bull, and they're going to reach for it on my property. That's exactly what I would think.
Yeah.
So this is a bad call for me.
Well, this puppy, super cute.
Super cute.
And now they're asking anyone who's got information to contact police because this is a theft.
Yeah, this is.
So they believe this is some 2 men driving a Celica, and one of the male suspects is described as a Pacific Islander. The getaway driver is a black man, and as I said, it's a Toyota Celica, and it's a super cute little puppy.
That was somebody's call?
What's that?
Ask me what the guy looked like.
What'd the guy look like?
He was a black dude. Ask me what the guy looked like.
What'd the other guy look like?
He was a white dude. Ask me what the guy looked like.
What'd the guy look like?
Now that I think about it, I feel that he might have been, I don't know, Southeast Asian. No. A Pacific Islander. Yeah. Who would say they would make that call?
Well, the little girl said he was a light-skinned black man, and the other guy looked like he was perhaps Hawaiian, Samoan. So,
yeah,
they said they probably were a little more specific, but then the police...
He said bra a lot, like, hey, see a bra?
More specific than Pacific Islander?
That's broad. Yes. So they probably said, he kind of looks Hawaiian. And the cop said, well, did he look like this? Did he look like that? So the cops say, black man, Pacific Islander, they do not know. Could have been Hapade from Guam, guys. That's Pacific Islander.
Yeah, maybe it was Hapade.
And he probably did it. He's a terrible person. Everybody knows that about Hapade.
On to Longview. A shopper went into the Prospector liquidation store and went number 2 in the aisles.
I understand completely.
They're trying to figure out why she did it.
Because she didn't strike gold. All right, am I wrong about the thing about prospectors doesn't mean prospectors? It means something else?
As in speculation?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what this store is. Prospector liquidation store? I have no idea.
You're turning in your pans and your picks, right?
Yeah, you'd think so, but I'm guessing not.
No?
I'm guessing that's just the name of it. And it's more like a hardware store or a dollar store.
Well, a liquidation store is where they buy, like, businesses are closing down. They buy their inventory and then resell it.
Again, so you come in, here are your pans, here's your picks, here's your shovel, here are your dwarves, and you give me my money for it.
I'm thinking it's a play on words, and they're like, strike it rich because you're buying cheap used inventory.
There's truth to what you say.
So this woman walks into the store, according to the people working there. This was noon. She paid cash for rubber gloves and baby wipes.
Well, I don't know what kind of gold you're trying to mine with those particular tools.
Walked past the bathroom and then left a number 2 in the aisle. Now, what you may not realize is that's a crime. It is.
Littering, right?
No, I got to go with biohazard or something.
It is illegal to relieve yourself where such an act could be observed by any members of the public.
Oh, public exposure, yeah.
Yes, you cannot go number 2, probably even number 1 in public.
It's just that she took her pants down. Like, it's not the act itself. It's that she was nude in public in front of.
According to Longview's municipal code, it is illegal to relieve yourself.
Okay.
So the act of going one or two.
Yeah.
And they're now trying to find her, trying to figure out what the heck, lady, gross.
There are too many. Can I tell you this, man? There's with one accidental click of the mouse, you're on that kind of porn site. And I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know who loves half of this stuff. Maybe more than that. Who loves 5/8 of this stuff? But that's like, I don't even get that. And usually I at least get it.
I think you might get it a little more than I do because I've never accidentally found myself on one of those places.
Oh, yeah. You ever accidentally found yourself on vomit porn?
No.
Yes, I've accidentally found myself there, too.
It's official. The video so many of you have seen has been accepted by the Seattle Police Department. I'll explain. There's a video that has been circulating from the Norfolk Police Department in Virginia, which shows them lip syncing and dancing to Uptown Funk from Bruno Mars.
I'd like to go on record as for an amateur thing. Is it cops or firefighters?
Cops, firefighters, paramedics.
Okay.
The main
usually that's a really good job for people whose job that is not.
Right. Yeah.
This was a great job. And the middle guy, because it's a crowd situation, the middle guy's super handsome. And I actually noticed his skin color, just like like his chest, and like really warm and big teeth and smile, and like all these people super dancing and stuff. It was great.
Possibly a better music video than the original music video for this song.
Distinct possibility,
Yeah.
man.
I would
It's
agree
great.
with that. This video so far has garnered more than 30 million views.
Wow. I would not have guessed that.
If you have not seen it yet, it is up right now at KZOK.com because it's a spectacular video. These guys did a great job, and that lead guy is super handsome with huge muscles.
Now, they said on the news this morning, the weather guy, because I threw it to him right after this story, and Nick Allard, my favorite weather guy, said, "Did you see that guy right to the left of center?" And I thought, no, what'd he do? Don't be a jerk. He said, that guy looks like he's having the best time of his whole life. I didn't see it had gone by when he said it, but I believe it's true.
Littler and nerdier.
Watch it again. There are multiple stars. It's really a group effort, and amazing how great they all are.
True.
The older lady to the right.
Yeah, right.
She's got gray hair. She's rocking out.
I wonder how many times they had to practice and run through that because it's so well choreographed. Like moving around the office in different directions and picking up people as they go. It was just really well done.
Yeah. So well done.
I love it. It's kind of funny, too. My high school actually did this, too. For my senior year, they did this every year. We did I've Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool. They had someone filming and everyone through the hallways with banners and everything. Yeah. It's hard to do, though, to get the lip syncing right.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's how you know your career is really starting to crash, when you say the name of the performer with a question mark. The Black Eyed Peas. Bye. Your night. That is it. You are over.
So Seattle PD is going to do it? They accept the challenge?
Seattle PD has accepted the challenge. So Norfolk PD put this video up, and then they challenged a couple of other police departments, including Seattle. And Seattle has now accepted the challenge. Now, they have not said which song they will do, but the Corinth Police Department in Texas did Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. So chances are it's going to be something upbeat and fun and danceable. Maybe SPD will take it down a notch and won't choose a 5-minute long song. It must be so much harder.
Is that what that was? That was 5 minutes?
minutes.
Oh, I saw a news clip this morning. I saw 30 seconds maybe.
KZOK.com if you want to watch the whole thing. But the
great.
SPD has accepted the challenge. They will do their own lip syncing video. In national news, a Nevada judge yesterday effectively put the execution of a 2-time killer on hold after a pharmaceutical company objected to the use of one of its drugs being used to put someone to death. This judge has now disallowed the use. We talked about this case a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
The fentanyl guy.
It's fentanyl, and they're also using a couple of other drugs. You can't just give someone
it's
fentanyl.
a cocktail.
It
It's a
has
full-
to be the cocktail.
Because one drug does one thing, and then the next drug stops your heart, and you theoretically shouldn't know it because it has put you to sleep casually. That almost never happens, the casual part. People do a lot of gasping.
So this product in particular is called Midazolam, and it's made by a company out of New Jersey who said, "We object to you using our drugs for an execution." as several pharmaceutical companies have tried to do in the past. This judge has ruled in their favor for now. They will be rehearing this case in September. But so for now, this guy's fentanyl cocktail was not used yesterday, and he's just hanging out for now. They didn't have a backup plan.
Well, yeah, I don't know that you would have I wouldn't think of a backup. I've got enough stuff to stop the heart of a small army. I don't need a backup plan. And then this guy having a conscience and stuff.
So he will find out his fate in September. Bad news for those of you looking for a change in 2020. Some of you hoping for a super handsome, buff, amazing man to run for president.
I can't really run right now. I feel like I'm a little old to take the job.
Yeah.
The Rock announced he will not be running for president in 2020.
What the Rock is cooking.
He will not be cooking up a campaign in 2020.
It's a great campaign slogan. I don't actually know what it means, but
it doesn't
fun.
mean the exact question. I know that.
Right.
Cabbage?
Yeah.
No. Hey, I don't know what weird career choices the most expensive actor and star in the world is making. Have you seen the coming attractions for his new movie, Skyscraper?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks terrible.
He takes his foot off.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't see that part.
That happens all the time.
Literally, he's hanging from something and he'll do, I guess he can have a better thing, lifts up the legs of his pants. Oh, prosthetic foot. And he unscrews it and uses it as a lever or something.
All right, now I'm back in. Maybe I want to see this movie.
The Society for Risk Analysis has done a report about texting and driving
Oh, yeah, it's terrible, Paul.
across our nation. Paul,
Sorry. Like I'm not on the road with you at the same time. I'm not doing it to you. Like, why are you upset at me?
Well, first of all, do it to mankind. Do it to me.
turns out Paul's not alone. Now, according to
Sometimes
experts,
I feel alone, Davey.
I know. I will hold you in your porcupine hat.
people who text and drive are 6 times more likely to be involved in a car accident. However, the majority of people seem not to believe the facts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I could totally drive and text at the same time. It's no big deal.
I think people who text and drive think they're better drivers than other people. I'm completely wrong about that. I'm a terrible driver, whether I'm texting or not, and it's really hard to do and super dangerous, and you shouldn't
Can't you do it by dictation?
Yeah, that's what I do now. So I've
Are
stopped.
you lying or are you saying
Okay,
you do it?
sometimes at
Right.
a stoplight, maybe I still text with my thumbs
All right.
and on the highway. But
Yeah.
stop that. Don't do it.
In the sunshine.
It turns out a lot of people think, maybe, Paul, you're right, that they believe they're better drivers
Yeah.
than they are, but they don't believe the facts, which are you are 6 times more likely if you are texting and driving to have an accident. If you are speaking on the cell phone, 2.2 times more likely to have an accident. But most people think, meh, it's totally fine to text and drive.
Yeah. If people saw like a shot from behind of their car swerving when they're
Yeah.
texting, because everyone's doing it.
Right.
You know who's texting. You can see the car move. If people saw that, they see other people and they go, hey, at least I don't do that. I'm way better than that guy.
This is not a new dilemma. The texting is a new dilemma,
Yeah.
but having a dilemma while driving, not new. I forget. P.J. O'Rourke, one of my favorite authors, favorite writers, wrote a long article for Rolling Stone that said, what was it called? How to drive fast on drugs while getting your who's it squeezed without spilling your drink.
Oh, goodness.
And there was an all big uproar. I mean, it might have been comedy. I don't know. But people were all mad at that guy, P.J. O'Rourke. That's an actual article, too.
Wow.
Latest data says cell phones have contributed to 1/4 of all car accidents.
In history?
Well, not in history because texting is
Right.
relatively new, 20 years old. So now the latest statistics of accidents now, 1/4 have to do with cell phones. The Marietta Police Department says a man narrowly averted tragedy when he went to put his gun down his pants and shot himself.
Oh.
Narrowly avoided tragedy? I don't know if tragedy was avoided. 1, you didn't shoot your Hoosits. 2, you missed your Hoosits.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're not an idiot.
Luckiest man in the world.
Yeah, well, not really.
Well, yeah, he was packing up his hotel. He then put his loaded handgun into the waistband of his pants. It started to fall. He reached for it, accidentally pulled the trigger while grabbing it, missed his own leg, went into the ground, but a woman and child nearby were struck by shrapnel.
Jeez.
So you can imagine he's in a wee bit of trouble. But the good news is he didn't fire off his own Hoosits.
I don't know that that's the good news.
Always a good day when you don't shoot off your own Hoosits.
Some lady and her baby got shot.
Yeah,
Not
that's
the Hoosits.
that's the downside. But you really got to look at the upside, Danny.
You're much
Don't
more
be a pessimist.
optimistic than me.
A man in Thailand captured video of an intruder in his bedroom.
It was that soccer team.
The intruder in his bedroom had partially swallowed his wife's lingerie. This guy
Swallowed?
swallowed.
Wow.
This guy went into
Pretty
his
confident, I
bedroom,
understand.
opened up a drawer, sees his wife's pink silk nightgown,
Yeah.
and also sees a giant snake who had devoured half of it. And they said he probably didn't realize that it was not something edible because it was pink. Maybe he thought it was some sort of food.
So it turns out it was a snake.
It was a snake.
Yeah. Makes more sense.
That makes much more sense now.
Well, he said he filmed this whole thing. It shows him pulling the snake's tail, which caused it to regurgitate the lingerie. He then put it outside in the backyard and set it free.
What part of the giant snake is its tail?
The back part.
The part
At the
that
end.
doesn't have a mouth
I'm not
attached.
sure. Is it? So you're saying from the face back is the tail? Because this is an actual fight, believe it or not, in the reptile world.
You
Other
think
people,
everything below the head is the tail?
I do not.
I'm going to go second half. Anywhere on the second half.
I'm
is the
going
tail.
behind where it poops.
Tori,
Okay.
aren't you
So you go
aren't you a
very
snake
end.
expert?
Yeah,
further up than
I'm
you'd think.
looking right now. Let's see.
I thought your dad owned like 100 snakes and that you knew
Her
everything
dad
about
is
snakes.
in her
snakes.
freezer.
Did you Google Danny's theory behind where it poops? Did you Google that?
Yeah.
But that, remember, Tori told us that's in the middle. Or did you tell us
Yeah,
that?
I think
Paul
it is
knows that.
pretty far up.
It's in the middle.
I think it's not.
It's not in the back where you would think it comes out the back. No, it's
Why
in the
would you
middle.
think it comes
its
out anywhere?
belly.
It's a snake. Why would I spend my nights thinking about this? What are you, a crazy person?
It looks like it's the part that where their ribs end. That's
Oh,
the
tail begins?
The tail
Gotcha.
begins.
So a third of the way up or 2/3 of the way
pretty,
down.
yeah.
Depending on how far down that particular snake's ribs go. Maybe one snake
You
has
don't know where that
really
snake
long
might
ribs.
poop.
Yeah.
Might poop at that store.
The prospectors.
Hey, did we ever figure
liquidator.
out why that lady deuced at the coal miner store?
She's making a statement for sure. I mean, if she buys supplies and then walks past an open restroom, she's mad at them.
I heard the same thing about she walked past the restroom. I didn't hear the word open. Or,
Well, she's mad at them though, right?
I would
You
think
can't
so.
just, there's a giant sign that says restroom and you'd rather turn the corner,
Yeah.
squat down and go there.
How do
Unless
we
she
know it
asked
was-
to use the restroom
and they said no.
No,
They said
said
you have
that
to
did
buy a
not
cup of
happen.
coffee.
That
Yeah,
did not
'cause I'd
happen.
do
She
that.
bought something.
Yeah,
cup of
she
coffee?
bought,
She was
no, she
allowed.
bought wet wipes and plastic and rubber gloves.
And she was wearing a nurse's
How
uniform,
gross
by
does
the way.
that lady find herself? Hey, I think I'm going to drop a deuce here. I need rubber gloves and baby wipes with chemicals on them.
Yesterday was 7-Eleven day.
I know what that means.
A lot of people went out and got themselves free 7-Elevens. Well,
Totally
now
forgot.
today is the 12th. And there's something else you could partake in today. Today is Pay Your Age Day
Pay your age day.
at the Build-A-Bear Workshop. So today and today only, you can pay your age to make a furry, cute little stuffed
It
animal.
doesn't sound like that great of a deal. For example, I'm going to get my daughter a cute little adorable bunny rabbit stuffed bunny thing.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to pay $58 for it. $58 a fortune for a teddy bear. Are you
Right.
crazy?
Yeah, but Paul, you've been to Build-A-Bear, right?
I have, and it's always pay your age day for me. It's $37 to buy one animal
Is that
without
true?
any accessories whatsoever.
So they're expensive.
17 years ago, I would have found that to be inexpensive.
I would guess it's no. When you buy a shirt for it and little shoes.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's
And then
it.
you put a scent in it, and then you put a little heartbeat sound in it, and
Oh, I
now
did
you're
that. I
walking out.
remember that.
Now you're walking out of there $75
See,
down.
there you go.
Oh, and it's got to have a birth certificate. That's another $12, I think.
Or you take Jelly Bean and it's $7.
Yeah, she's going today. She doesn't know.
Oh, I didn't think of that way at all. I thought oldest guy in the room.
Oh no, it's for the
Yeah.
kids.
Oh, okay, great. No, it's a great deal.
Yeah, they're gonna try and get down there right when the mall opens because they're expecting a ton of people.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm confident that she's still asleep, so I can say she's headed down there today, but she
Fun.
doesn't know about it.
Oh, she doesn't know she's headed down there.
No, it's a surprise. So my
she's
mom's
still
gonna take her down. It should be fun for her.
Oh, that's great.
But you still pay full price for all of the accessories and the clothing and stuff. So
I think just because we're jerks that we should say, hey, Jelly Bean, surprise, like every 20 minutes or so once we're shushing away.
She does have the alarm set to us.
Good. She didn't. She had it set to metal for a while.
Yeah, she
My
had some
feelings
death
were-
metal. She listened to that country station we used to work with.
Yeah,
With
those
those guys,
bastards.
they blew up.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay.
Such a Florida story. An armless homeless man has been charged with stabbing a tourist
Ow.
with his feet.
Oh, wow.
The hygiene on that guy's toenails.
46-year-old Jonathan Crenshaw is homeless and has no arms. He held a pair of scissors with his feet and stabbed 22-year-old Cesar Coronado. And they said he is known for his painting. He uses his feet to paint. He has some good agility with his feet. But Crenshaw was lying down when this dude Caesar approached him and punched him. Well, the armless homeless...
The guy with arms.
Yes.
Punched the guy that didn't.
Yeah, it'd be tougher for the
Right.
armless guy.
Armless homeless guy did not like being punched in the head, so he grabbed his scissors with his feet and stabbed him. He was then taken to the hospital, and the armless homeless man was taken in for charges of aggravated battery. I think they should both be facing some charges.
I don't know. I think you're the homeless, armless dude. You kind of have your day going bad enough, really.
Yeah, it sounds like
shouldn't
he's
be allowed
defending
to.
himself.
He does. Some guy punched him in the head.
Well, one of the other witnesses says that the armed man with arms, asked for directions. The man without arms didn't like being woken up, and that's why he stabbed him. So it's a he said, he said. The guy with arms says one thing,
Well,
and the guy
who's
with no
saying
arms.
this?
A witness.
That's the bad part of it. He said, she said. There's no witness.
He said, he said.
Right. He said, he said.
And then a witness says, well, this other guy did. So it's he said, and then a witness, we don't know if he's telling the
Yeah,
truth.
as a guy that's been sued 3 times on he said, she said, once you get a witness that says, no, I saw it, it's no longer that.
Unless it's his friend and he's lying for him.
You just add stuff left and right.
Yeah, the witness certainly could be another
Could
homeless
be,
person.
sure.
He
He
knows.
could have 1 foot.
Yeah.
Or it could
Kinda
be
neat.
Caesar's friend who
But
was also lost.
Now he's known for more than just his painting. He's known for stabbing that guy with
With
his
his feet.
Yeah.
I would brag constantly.
And I
Oh,
would think, too, he
Florida.
was known before for not having any arms,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
And how difficult it was to please himself.
We need to take a break. When we come back, who is ready for a tell-all about her music legend husband? We'll tell you who's writing a book. An update to the upcoming Queen movie. Some interesting details coming out. Who won the fan vote and is headed to the All-Star game? We will tell you next. Plus, you can win Mariners tickets. Sharon Osbourne has revealed she's working on a new project about her early years with husband Ozzy Osbourne.
Isn't that what
She's-
she does every day of her life?
Well, she's coming out with a movie and then a book, which will be about infidelity and what it does to people. So this is going to focus.
That's got to be the book, right?
That's going to be the book. There's a book and a movie, and she says the book will be 100% about infidelity and what it does to people, because as we know, he cheated on her a lot.
Yeah, I'll tell you, here's one of the things, in my opinion, that it does. It makes you stay for the money.
Yeah.
That's my call on it. More than anything. I could never get away with it. It'd be kind of awesome if I could have a hairdresser that also did that. But I'm pretty sure I'd be in trouble. But,
You don't think she also stayed for the love and wanting to
yeah.
fix the
Oh, no, I think
relationship,
she loves
that kind of stuff?
Ozzy a lot. But I don't think in a normal marriage that didn't have $50 million, you'd really get the opportunity to beg your case.
Yeah.
I know I slept with everybody, your friends and your hairdresser and your makeup artist, but I really like you. It's not a great
But
argument.
think of it from this perspective, too. Sharon Osbourne is a bazillionaire. She's
Yeah.
been his manager from day one. So she isn't riding on his coattails.
Yes, she is.
She was
What
the
do
daughter.
managers get paid?
She gets paid is what I'm saying. She met him because her father was working in the music industry. She helped Ozzy become what he is. And
Okay, I agree with all of that. I just think most wives would leave in anger.
right, but I'm saying I don't think it's money. I think Sharon Osbourne rolls around in piles of loot. I think she truly loves this crazy person who cheats on her.
I could not agree with all of what you say. I just, that happens more to rich people than poor people.
There's also the financial incentive on top of the love, on top of wanting to fix the
There you go. That's
relationship.
exactly what I mean.
So she's coming out with a book. She's coming out with a movie and says that she knows that he cheated and he admitted to being a sex addict. They have worked things out, but that the movie will be focused on the early days where she, as the daughter of the manager of the guy who was in the music industry, introduces her to Ozzy, and that Ozzy grew up being very poor, was abused, and how they propelled him and the Black Sabbath to what they are.
Oh, I thought it was all about infidelity, and I thought we were all going to learn a lesson.
The book is about infidelity.
Okay.
So this is the movie is about their early days?
Yes.
Different thing entirely.
Yes, the movie is about her early years with Ozzy, talking about before he became the man we know to be today.
I just think it's such an ego thing. So here's this thing on how he treated on me and why he's a jerk, but it's all about me, happening to me and having my feelings hurt. And then there's this other one that's about me before we got to be all rich and everything, but it's all about me. I don't know. That's what I say.
We're getting some information about the new Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. The producer, Graham King, has revealed how they got around the problem of bringing Freddie Mercury back to life in this biopic. The frontman is being played by Rami Malek, but he can't and couldn't replicate Freddie Mercury's singing voice.
Who could, really?
Exactly. The closest we've had is Adam Lambert, who does a great job, but wasn't going to be in this movie. He's not a great actor. So Rami Malek, they said, is fantastic. What they did was they took recordings from the Queen master tapes, then used additional vocals recorded by a Canadian singer named Mark Martel. According to the producer...
It won't work. He's not Filipino.
They said literally you close your eyes and it's Freddie. It's a tough thing to do, and they've achieved it.
That just doesn't sound that great to me in a huge decade or two. You close your eyes.
It's Freddie Mercury.
And it's Freddie Mercury. Whoa, somebody wake me up.
They said that he has worked with prosthetic teeth and worked really hard with coaches about his movements, dialogue, and learning to speak with those
Not the
prosthetic
Canadian
teeth.
guy.
No, Rami
that
Malek.
Rami Malek guy, yeah.
Why would the Canadian guy do it?
I don't know. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, okay.
I thought it was odd that they were putting
Make this
prosthetic teeth on the guy in the studio singing.
Who's just going to have to walk around Canada now looking like that?
So the guy, Rami Malek, who is playing Freddie Mercury, is wearing prosthetic teeth, talking like him, moving like him. And so far, they say this is going to be a fantastic movie.
All right, the short bursts that I've seen on commercials look great.
Looks good. Tori, I know you and Derek are out tonight hosting a very cool event. Tell us some more about it.
Yeah, so we're going to be out at the Muckleshoot Casino's Club Galaxy for the Battle of the Puget Sound Bands tonight at 8 p.m. We're going to be hosting round 2 as 3 bands compete for a spot in the grand finale when they can win $10,000.
Neat.
It's going to be a blast. Everyone should come out and have a drink.
Yeah, sounds fun.
That's a lot of loot for just being in a local band. That
And
sounds like
sometimes
a
these
good
start
time.
whole careers.
Yeah.
And the Joker origin movie is officially a go at Warner Brothers. Joaquin Phoenix has finalized his deal to star as arch nemesis of Batman, the Joker.
No way.
Yes.
I would not have guessed that for all the tea in China.
I want to see it, though.
Because I think he's as crazy as the character.
Yeah.
Which is weird. That never happens. You're just normally a good actor playing crazy. Like the real handsome dude that plays the Joker. What's his name?
Heath Ledger, or no, he's not anymore.
Right. But either way, they acted up a storm at being crazy. I think this guy's already crazy.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Also will be appearing in a Joker movie. He played Joker in Suicide Squad. A solo film is in production, but this one stars Joaquin Phoenix, and they're going to tell a tale that's kind of being kept under wraps right now. Like, what's the storyline? I have no idea.
But two different Joker movies under production at the same time?
With two different actors.
Yeah, that's weird.
And how do you keep it under wraps? Well, it's a guy, he goes crazy and then gets in fights with Batman.
But is it pre-Batman? Is there no Batman? Is this the story of Joker before he meets Batman? That's what it sounds like it will likely be, because there's no mention of Batman whatsoever.
So it's mostly about Sharon Osbourne.
That's what I would
How
say.
she made the Joker.
And the Joker that cheated on her.
Yeah.
So we got to learn that lesson.
Netflix has some big stand-up plans for 2019. The streaming network announced a huge deal to debut stand-up comedy event series for next year. Half-an-hour sets, 47 comedians from all around the world. Now, each city will get its own popular comedians. So, for example, here in the United States, we are going to get on Netflix stand-up comedy from Chris D'Elia, Neil Brennan, Nicole Byer, and Nick Swardson. In Mexico City, they're getting their own type of comedians that are well-known in Mexico.
Oh, so every country where Netflix is, they're going to do a comedy special just for that country.
Yes.
That's
Got
cool.
it. That is cool.
So we're talking Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Mumbai, Berlin, Amsterdam, which means the specials will be in French, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, Dutch, German, and English.
Hotbed of stand-up comedy, Amsterdam.
Yeah, and I didn't know
Although-
Nick Swardson spoke all those languages. That's crazy.
I have actually seen the, I think it's called American, not English, but whatever. There's a comedy club right on a canal in Amsterdam, believe it or not. And who is the guy that has a late night show?
Seth Meyers.
That's where he first got his job in comedy.
That's
Was in
crazy.
the
Wow.
comedy club in Amsterdam where his brother already worked.
Crazy.
George Lopez was filmed on Hollywood Boulevard, taking a look at all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He walked right by Danny Bonnet. Not yours. He walked over to Donald Trump's star and faked winking on it. So he used a water
They're
bottle.
not fake caring what George Lopez pees on.
He doesn't have a star, does he?
Oh, I'd assume
George
he does.
Lopez?
George
Really?
Lopez probably does. Derek can let us
He's
know.
had 3 network series that did well.
Yeah, I'm not saying he hasn't done all right, but star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Takes a certain panache.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I'm
does.
with you.
Well, George Lopez has had a very vocal beef with Donald Trump. He was walking down Hollywood Boulevard. A bunch of people stopped him, were talking to him, got into a conversation, and he decided it would be funny to winky on Donald Trump's star.
But fake wink.
Fake winky, because he
So
would
it's
have
a
been arrested.
fake message. He loses points in my world for that.
Yeah.
Either pee on it or don't.
Yeah, commit.
Commit, absolutely. Take the chance of getting arrested. You know what? You got to go the distance for the joke. Ask Lenny Bruce went to jail every other day.
Yeah.
And then
That
died.
could result in him being called a pedophile. What's it called? Not pedophile.
A sex offender.
A
He
sex
could go on a
offender.
registry for exposing himself in public.
Yeah, so
That's not completely true.
he might have, is what I said. So
Somebody has to see you and press charges. in
Right,
some
I would
kind of way,
imagine there are
including
people
just a
there.
cop.
yeah, there were hundreds of people.
Hey,
all
all
on
I'm saying is not
Boulevard.
he's a tough guy. I know this guy. He's very funny and real hands. Like he'll get tough with you if he's had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And I just think he should have really gone for it. I would not. I think it's disrespectful. I just think you should have gone for your joke or not.
Right.
He does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Let's go pee on it.
For television, of all
Yeah.
things, for the George Lopez show.
thanks.
Oh, nice. Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Marco Gonzalez, 26-year-old southpaw for Seattle, became the first 10-game winner of the season with a big outing. 7-inning gem he pitched, and the Mariners topped the Angels 3-0. So he has been pretty instrumental in this big push this season for the Mariners. They are now at 58-35, 3 games back of the defending world champions Houston Astros.
Not
Can't
too
believe
shabby.
They played that many games already.
Yeah.
That seems like a really big number.
4th best record in the MLB. Catcher David Freitas, filling in for the injured Mike Zunino, hit his first career home run.
Nice.
Cool.
So very, very cool.
Congratulations.
And we've been talking so much about the Mariners this epic season. They're heading the campaign to get Gene Segura to win the popular vote.
I think we all deserve some credit, but
Yeah, definitely.
the hashtag has
First that
changed.
sugar guy.
Yeah, the Shoop. Yeah,
Shoop, that guy.
I don't even know his
Shoob.
name. Nobody knows his name. The
Some random
hashtag,
dude who works here.
hashtag has changed from Send Segura to Sent Segura because he is in the All-Star game. 13.6 million votes
That's
That
amazing.
is
put him in the
amazing.
All-Star game. And probably half of those are from us, and I'm sure the Mariners are going to be sending over their thanks and
Yep.
gifts.
No, that guy's going to come over in person. Bring us
Probably.
toys.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Gene Segura.
Gene Segura, either way. But pretty fantastic for us to send 4 guys. The first time we were ever in the finals for the fan votes.
Yes.
And we win it. So pretty cool. Way to go, Mariners. Way to go, Gene Segura. Way to
Beating
go
out
us.
big named people.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a lot of votes. What'd you
Yeah.
say, 13?
13.6 million votes.
That's amazing. Well,
Well,
congratulations.
we all know that one was King Felix, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
at
he
least
come out
one.
and vote? Yeah, at least one right there.
Well, I'm sure as soon as the Mariners are back in town, Gene Segura will be up here to thank Paul especially for
Yeah.
all of his voting. The Mariners, however, are still in Los Angeles wrapping up their series. 7:07 start time on Root Sports. Well, they're on the road, so we are going to play an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. Derek, play us the song clip.
She said, take the wine, take that girl, still wine, take
All right, here's how it works. You need to call right now and tell us the name of the song, the artist, and the year it came out.
Maybe one of the hardest ones we've ever done.
Yeah,
I think this one's super hard.
Yeah.
But you guys listening, you know it. Call right now, 800-252-1025. Tell us who, and you will win tickets to an upcoming game. Call right now.
Right, though, this is a hard one.
By the way, she never said that.
I'm pretty sure she said it once when I was young.
What an exciting soccer match yesterday. Croatia, England, and it ended like this.
Header played out wide. Is there time enough to get it back? There's the final whistle. Croatia, the second smallest nation in history to make a World Cup final.
It was so exciting.
Oh, it was a great match.
It was a big deal if you were from England, too, man.
It was
Yeah.
a big deal if you're from Croatia. It was a big deal for everybody. Everybody was watching, eyes glued, and it took extra time.
Did he say the second smallest country to win?
Yeah, I believe Uruguay is the smallest country to ever win it. They won it a couple of times, and I think they're a little smaller than Croatia.
I have no
Population
idea.
wise.
Well, Croatia
I
has
thought it was
never
Vatican
gone.
City playing, the Pope has to lift up his dress. You can
Has
see the
never won
ball.
a World Cup.
I'm pretty
unfortunately.
sure Pope Francis won a World Cup. Paul.
Really?
So Croatia has never gone to the finals before. England has, and this was a very, very big, important match. We now know who the finals will be.
I was so close because I thought it was going to be Belgium, Croatia, and turns
Yep.
out France, Croatia. But
France, Croatia, the finals, World Cup finals happen Sunday, 8 a.m. The third place playoff game, like the consolation round,
Belgium, England.
Belgium, England, that happens Saturday at 7.
That's huge if you're England. That's why I said it, just because I've never, I don't keep track of the World Cup. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And they've just been getting so much press about what this means. So when yesterday I heard something I couldn't believe, I heard a sports guy on my radio say, well, we're thinking about actually calling the whole thing Waistcoat Wednesday. Remember I tried to start a Waistcoat Wednesday so I
Yeah,
could wear
right.
my vest. Well, it's a thing in England.
All right.
Because the guy wears vests, the coach wears vests.
Oh yeah, I would imagine that England was fairly excited to be that close to winning the World Cup.
In tennis, big upset yesterday at Wimbledon. South Africa's Kevin Anderson upset the number one player in the world, Roger Federer. They just all assumed Roger Federer would be going all the way. But no, Roger Federer, after 4 hours and 14 minutes, fell to Kevin Anderson. Still not the longest match at Wimbledon, but the man who played the longest match at Wimbledon is the only remaining American, John Isner. He'll be playing in the semifinals on Friday, so we still
Is
have
that-
representation.
The longest game in this set of games or in the
Wimbledon.
history of Wimbledon?
History of Wimbledon.
Wow, how long is that? I would be so tired because those guys, you think fake sport.
Yeah.
You wear white shorts and a headband, you're a silly person. But it's actually really, really demanding.
Yeah, once you do it for half a day.
And they can go for half a day, right? That's crazy.
So John Isner, when he played this, I remember watching it. This was 8 years ago. The match went so long.
How long did it go?
Did it go?
It was 11 hours and 5 minutes. They had to move it to the following day because it got dark out. They couldn't play anymore. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and they couldn't play anymore. So they don't at Wimbledon. So it took 11 hours and 5 minutes. John Isner, longest in history. He is 6'10" tall.
How is that possible? Well, there's all those athletes because the only people I know in real life, that's all, are not healthy.
Yeah.
That'd be my son-in-law to be. He
It's
just seems like he has
highly-
rickets.
Highly unusual for a tennis player to be 6'10"
Yeah.
years old.
I bet he's got such a good ace, though.
Probably.
Serve, you get it as close to the net as
Yeah.
possible. Because hitting over anything is difficult for me.
Why is that?
Because I'm short. Paul.
The Mariners wrapping up their series against the LA Angels on the road tonight, 7:07 start time on Root Sports. But we have been playing in studio Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. Derek, would you play that clip again?
She said, take the wine, take that girl.
Now, this one to me, I thought very difficult because I knew the name of the song, but the full name of the band?
I knew the song, I thought, but then he starts singing something that sounds like something else.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was Spill the Wine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then he starts saying, I never heard him clearly say that. It sounds to me like he's saying, take the wine.
He says take the wine, then he says spill the wine. In the
Bastard.
second time.
It is Spill the Wine.
Yeah, that's all I got though.
Eric Burden and War.
War, yeah, I knew it was
Yes.
More.
I thought it was.
Denise in Port Orchard. She knew it was Spill the Wine. She knew it was Eric Burden and War.
Oh,
She
yeah.
also knew the year it came out, 1970.
Well, Denise is some sort of like she's like a prophet or something. She knows too much.
Is that what
How
it
could
is?
you know all of those things?
I don't know.
The prophet Denise in
Yeah.
Port Orchard is
She's
going-
a wizard, a witch. She's definitely a witch.
Well, are we going to burn her or drown her? You got to decide with these things.
Well, does she float?
If she floats, she's a witch.
Yeah.
Denise is going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
Denise is going to pick up tickets for the game on July 20th at 7:10 versus the Chicago White Sox, which just happens to be Pearl Jam fireworks night.
Pearl Jam fireworks night.
You don't want to miss the third of 5 fireworks shows at Safeco Field this summer on July 20th after the M's face the White Sox. The Mariners will be celebrating Seattle's own Pearl Jam with a fireworks spectacular featuring all your favorite songs by the legendary band. For tickets, rock out to mariners.com.
All right, you too could be a wizard, a witch.
Wait,
A what?
I don't know, but please tell Denise that we're not actually going to burn her. This is actually the second day in a row we've threatened to burn a listener.
Okay, I'd like to go back to saying I'd burn him.
You were going to burn Joe and Lynn
I know, and I
Stevens.
felt
Go to his
terrible.
house, set him on fire.
I
You
love
too
Joe.
could be burned.
Let's call Joe right now so I can go, what's up? You're on fire.
Tomorrow morning at the same time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys, 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
So it's about 3 minutes after 7, which means, in less than 20 minutes, we'll be playing the game that is sweeping the nation, just like all our games sweep. We're playing Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers, and you can win tickets to see Paul Rogers at the EQC. So check that out, and that is 7:20.
There's a lot of talk about divorce, right? We've got
Almost always.
Well, we've got stories constantly coming up about husbands and wives fighting about this, that, and the other. Rick Jones, a sponsor of this show, he was in studio yesterday talking to people about divorce. Some experts, however, say the secret to a happy marriage for many couples is keeping finances separate.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, do you? How come?
Because I would just assume that Amy was stealing from me.
But
If
what
she had a
if,
bank account and I didn't know what was in it, matched up with my bank account that I also don't know what's in it. One good fight, and I went, I'll bet she robbed me blind.
But that's the thing. You do this now, kind of. It might be a joint account, but you don't have real access to it or
Oh,
control
I have access
over it,
to it. Watch this. Hey, how do I bank? And then she tells me.
See?
but say the two people are both working full time.
Right?
And you have direct deposit goes into, instead of one bank account that's joint, it goes into your own bank account. And then you are just keeping those things separate. And it's not like it's my money versus your money. It's still
See,
community money.
It smells like that to me. It smells like a secret.
I hear about this and people do this, but
Yeah,
it
no.
seems like a hassle to me too. You know, oh well, can you pay the cable bill? I'll pay the water bill.
Right.
Like just it seems odd, but I know that there are people that do it and it works for them.
No, and finance is one of the top 3 causes of divorce.
Yeah.
And for money, number
Fighting about
1.
money, yeah.
Matt and I do keep our finances separate, but
Really?
it is
That
like
doesn't
you
surprise
just,
me about you.
No, me
to be
either.
honest.
but it is like you just said, Paul. It's got to be like he does rent, I do American Express,
Yeah.
then somebody's got to do this, and the other person's got to do that.
I mean, I guess it promotes communication. You guys have to talk to each other more about the finances.
That's
and
true.
To keep a handle.
I
on
don't care. But I used to like this a lot less. But when my lovely wife, Amy, goes into the bathroom, she does 2 things that I fully don't understand at all. One, she closes the door.
Yeah.
And then, guessing at my character, she then locks it. A locked door in my house? That's Danny Bonaduce's bathroom.
So if I ask the question, is there something you keep separate or private from your significant other? The answer is bathroom activity.
That would be her.
Yeah.
answer. I think it's mean, and she doesn't love me. that is totally. You know what else she does?
What's that?
I have a bar of soap in the. I was going to say in the fridge. No, wouldn't that be odd?
That would be
I
weird.
have a bar of soap in the shower, and so does she. Because my soap's gross, I think.
Yep.
Well, you remember I even told you about this, that she wouldn't let me hang up the towel as still clean and usable again because she walked in and I was cleaning my undercarriage.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's wrong with
You
her?
do that with
She's
your
normal.
soap too, I would imagine.
I do. I have a very clean undercarriage, which makes the towel thing weird.
Well, you guys listening, what is something you keep separate or private from your significant other? Experts say keeping separate finances is healthy for a marriage. Call us now. Tell us your answer, 800-252-1025, or text it.
All right, so some people keep their finances separate. I say, and by the way, that it's very smart statistically, but I say it's going to read to the road to hell, my goodness, friends. So the question is there something that you keep separate from your significant other? Here's the phone number to call, 1-800-252-1025, or text 90627.
Let's start with Patrick in Chimicum.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Morning, Patrick.
Well, I would like to say that, first of all, my wife and I keep several things separate, and I think it's great. We have separate activities with our own separate friends that we do on our own, and I think that's been a very healthy thing for us.
Are you a swinger?
A swinger? No, not like that kind, no.
Okay, because when you say I have my own activity that my wife doesn't have,
Yeah.
And by the way, God bless you. If you could sell that.
Well, kind of like my husband going fishing with friends. I don't really want to go fishing, so
Right.
him and his friend Leon will go squid jigging. That's a separate activity from me maybe going
You
out
don't
with
want
my
to go squid
girlfriends.
jigging with Leon?
When you say it sounds great.
But, clearly it's working for Patrick, or he wouldn't have called in because he's happily married.
I don't know anything about Patrick's life. I don't know that this is working. He
Yeah.
says
He
it.
just said it.
What is he doing, though?
Yeah, what
are
weird
his
stuff-
activities?
what
Are
are you
you
up to,
squid jigging
Patrick?
with Leon, Patrick?
I play in a band, for one.
Oh, okay.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
What do you mean no?
Because
No.
he's married, he can't play in a band that his wife's not in?
That is separate. So your wife is often not in the audience or anything like that, right?
No, she comes to gigs, but she doesn't come to rehearsals.
Yeah, that's where the real stuff goes down.
Which one has the other women, Patrick? Come on, you can tell me I'm your Uncle Danny.
Patrick, how long have you been married?
Let's see, 5 years, and we've been together 12.
Good for you,
Or
man.
as Patrick likes to say, a lifetime.
I mean, most experts say you should have your
Yeah,
own
I wish I did.
interests.
I told you guys this morning I'm going to see 21 Pilots, right?
Yep.
It would never occur to me to go to a concert.
It's
Almost
just
ever.
something she enjoys.
Because the station, my job for the past 30 years has sent me to a version of a concert 3 or 4 times a year. So I don't need that. But she wants to go to a concert. I'm going to say, oh, let's go and check out the Beatles plumbing in Liverpool. There's a thing that sounds great.
But some people would say, marital experts would say she should be going with a friend.
I say
because
that.
it's her interest, not yours.
What do I care about Paul McCartney's outhouse? Because that was a spectacular. He grew up with one of these. Shut up.
800-252-1025. What's something you keep separate or private from your significant other? Let's talk to Jeremiah in Seattle.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, good morning, sunshine.
Come on, sweetheart. What do you got?
Well, military past. It's something I just can't bring up and just go into conversation, with the wife. I mean, I can talk with other vet buddies and that because they've lived it, they've been there. It just, didn't want to give the first impression when we met, that she married a monster and that. That's something I haven't been proud of, but it was my job.
No offense, because I'm sure this is very rough on our veterans. And I've never served our country, which I would love to do. But I got to say, and I'm not making light of your situation there, Jeremiah, in any way. If I did what I think you did, first date.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, my name's Jeremiah, and by the way,
You'd be
killed
bragging about
7
it.
guys
Yeah.
because they didn't like my country much.
Yeah.
You should salute me now, young lady. That's what I'd say.
I think once you go through that experience, I'm guessing you're not in any, you don't have the desire to talk about it like that. You don't have, you don't brag
I
about
talk
it.
about the 4 guys I killed, and I never killed anybody.
When you fantasize about it, I think you want to brag about it. I think if you actually do it, probably not
I'm
as much.
sure I'm sure Jeremiah's not alone by any stretch.
Yeah.
I don't think he's alone right now.
Keeping that stuff private.
I think he's got company at this very moment because he's Jeremiah.
We've got some great text in 90627. I fuel my semi up at the fueling station where the Bikini Espresso stand is, and I totally use a different credit card to buy my coffee.
Super funny.
Somebody says,
Super funny. How often is that true, do you think?
this person, she says, I watch RuPaul's Drag Race when my boyfriend isn't home, and he watches his World War II documentaries when I'm not home. So separating TV watching, your interest, her interest.
Yeah, we have that one in my house.
Oh, I mean, there's no way I'm making Matt watch The Vampire Diaries and the originals and all my CW shows.
I don't want to watch a housewife anywhere that isn't actually my housewife.
Speaking of Matt, we have a text from Matt in Seattle. I keep my Star Wars loving girlfriend private from my wife. Hashtag dumb Sarah.
All right, Paul, what about you? What is something you keep separate or private from Holiday?
Guns. I like to shoot recreationally, and she does not want to have anything to do with guns. She doesn't want to see them. She doesn't want to touch them. She doesn't want to talk about them. She doesn't know the combination to the safe. If I buy a new gun, she didn't want to know about it.
Well, I know what house I'm breaking into. But, I would say I'm surprised a little bit, I guess, because I see some of your other qualities.
Yeah.
Paul. But when I first met Paul and I was looking for his wife in a crowd, and Paul said, she's the one that's way too cute to be dating a guy like me.
Yeah,
and I went,
or married
that
to.
one right there. That's the
But
first-
what's weird is he pointed to every chick in the room. He was like, could be her, could be her.
But in all seriousness, like you have to have so much else going on if you think, and I don't necessarily agree, but she's cute, that you would have to bury all your other interests when you do something that annoys her, like shooting guns. I mean, it sounds like she's opposed to it.
Yeah, no, she certainly is. And so it's just something that we keep separate. And
I will tell you,
I think she does.
from some experience, keeping guns away from the wife may be a pretty good idea.
Right? I don't know that I want to give her the combination
No,
of the
yeah,
safe.
because you're kind of an ass, and now she's got a gun.
I wonder how many other couples that is one of the things they keep separate, though. Like Joe in Lake Stevens is a big gun collector, loves to shoot. I don't know if his wife partakes in that activity or not.
There's a financial aspect, too, because it can be an expensive hobby. And so you don't necessarily want to say how much you on a new gun.
Although, as a non-shooter, I've shot. I think I own a gun somewhere. Amy took it away, and that's that.
Yeah.
But I would think the guns are not that expensive, at least to purchase. Those AR-15s that are constantly in the news right now, they're under $1,000, I think.
Yeah.
That looks like
You're
it should
a
be.
household with children to spend $1,000 on a gun is a huge purchase.
On something that's just for a hobby.
No, but I just mean the place that you can buy something that is prone to that kind of devastating power.
Yeah.
For $800.
Oh, I
Seems
agree.
weird
Guns
to me.
should cost a lot
Lot
more.
more.
And I agree that guns should be more difficult
I
to
agree
get.
that your wife should be locked away from your guns. She's mad at you.
Tori, what is something that you keep separate or private from a significant other?
I keep my experimental jazz fusion live concert DVDs to myself because it's kind of, a spiritual thing for me.
I thought it was just the fact that almost every word in that sucked.
What?
Oh my God. The only thing worse than
on.
jazz is experimental
Experimental.
jazz.
Yeah, jazz was like the only acceptable word, but you put it
Right.
among those other words.
And when Sarah just went, I don't know if that's or an experimental jazz sound.
You people.
What do you mean, you people?
And Derek, is there something you like to keep private
Yeah,
from a
Derek.
significant other?
I tell everyone that I despise the new live action Disney movies, but privately I actually watched them and Cinderella was pretty awesome.
Awesome. You can't go wrong
I
with
can't
Cinderella.
admit that though.
I'll still love you.
That's fantastic. Hey, look at the time.
Look
we
at
need
that
to get started to play Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers.
Paul, Roger,
Roger,
or Paul Rogers.
Rogers.
You can win tickets to see Paul Rogers. Oh, best voice ever. September 29th, Emerald Queen Casino. If you want to win these tickets and play this game, call KZOK. We are giving you a chance to win tickets to see that man, the myth, the legend at the Emerald Queen Casino, September 29th by playing Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers. Here's how it works. Danny will give you some song lyrics. To win, you'll have to tell us if those lyrics were written by a Paul, a Roger, or Paul Rogers.
All right.
Our contestant is Anthony in Seattle.
Hey, Anthony, what's up?
What's up?
All right, let me ask you this. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Sometimes.
All right. Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes.
All right, then listen carefully, my friend, and we will begin. arguably one of the greatest voices, if not the greatest voice in rock and roll history. It turns out this guy can also write a pretty good song. He wrote, "Here come the dancers one by one. Your mama's calling, but you're having fun. You find you're dancing on a number 9 cloud. Put your hands together and sing it out loud." All right, that was bitching at me. Was that Paul, a Roger, or Paul Rogers?
Roger?
Well, we have. Do we have an issue on that?
He said Roger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you can't.
Incorrect.
Correct.
Yeah. We don't have an issue other than that.
Other than
that's
that,
wrong,
yeah. Well, it's just I think there's 9 right answers.
Yeah.
Lou in Bremerton, do you need Danny to read the clue, or do you know if that song was written by a Paul, a Roger, or Paul Rogers?
Paul Rogers.
That is correct,
That is
Lou.
absolutely correct.
Paul Rogers. Such a great song.
Of my rock and roll fantasy.
Lou in Bremerton, my dear, you are going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up your tickets to Paul Rogers, September 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The rest of you can join us again tomorrow for one final round of Paul Roger or Paul Rogers. And the big news of the day is next.
And as always, the big news of the day brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com.
Well, one of the big stories people are talking about this morning, Papa John's is now Populous. The founder, John Schnatter, has resigned as chairman of the board. The company made the
Is
announcement.
this because he kissed Peyton? Are you still mad about that?
Nope.
That was weird, though.
That he kissed Peyton before, or no, that Peyton kissed him before kissing the coach.
Yeah,
and while they're doing that story on the news, I'm going, there's a lot of men kissing men.
Yeah,
right?
I just thought it was weird that anybody was kissing
Kissing
each other.
anybody.
I mean, I thought, they smack each other on the behind, but I thought that was pretty much it.
Papa John's, the company, made the announcement late last night after, which was hours after Papa John apologized for using a racial slur during a conference call back in May. He apologized. It came to light that this word had been used. Anonymous sources say that the pizza chain's marketing firm had broken ties after this conference call. He said he did use the N-word during a media training exercise. When asked how he would distance himself from racist groups, he reportedly complained Colonel Sanders never faced any backlash for when he used the word.
Not
Now-
true, by the way, stupid pants. I mean, I will give it to you that most people understand that Colonel Sanders, by today's standards, a screaming racist.
Yeah.
And an all-around terrible guy, from what I understand. I've read 2 books about him.
Right, but he didn't get forced out, right?
Did he say it?
Did John say it, Papa John?
No, the Colonel.
From what I've read, yes.
Well,
he
he's
said
not
all sorts of things.
He's not there now.
That's true, because he's long dead.
Oh, well, that has something to do with it.
But Papa John's founder is not denying that he said it. He says, yes, I did. And he has now stepped down. So he had already...
Why would he say it? It's a conference call. Why would you ever say
Yeah.
it?
Do we have any context? Not that in any context it's right to say.
No, I think you're wrong about that.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, well,
personally, I wouldn't say it in
personally,
any
I would
context.
never say it. But is
Okay,
it not
then I
okay
think
for
we
a rapper?
agree.
Some people can say it, or they would have no rap industry.
Okay, so I don't know there's context that makes it okay for him to say it.
But
Right,
I
I agree
understand,
with
Paul,
you.
what you're saying. You're saying, did he call someone? Was he
Right.
being
Or-
evil and angry? No,
Because
he was not.
my understanding is this meeting was about like PR strategies if you're dealing with a controversy. Did he say, how would I deal with if I said the word? Was that the context, or
It
what
was
was
a
the context?
role-playing exercise
Yeah.
designed
He
to
was playing
prevent
a racist?
public relation crises. John Schnatter said, news reports attributing the use of inappropriate and hurtful language to me during a media training session regarding race are true. Regardless of the context, I apologize.
Yeah.
Simply stated, racism has no place in our society.
I don't understand well enough then for all this. Obviously, a guy wouldn't have quit his job if something wasn't wrong. But it sounds to me He went to a course on what do you do if someone says the N-word? And he'd say, well, if I said the N-word and now he has to quit his job, I just don't get it. He doesn't seem like a villain to me.
Right.
Is he?
It sounds more like if this was role playing that he maybe said,
He got
Paul,
a little
you
too
blank.
much. He's a method actor. He got a little too much into character.
That's what I infer from his comments. Yes.
All right.
Well, he had already stepped down from one part of the business, and now he is completely gone from Papa John's.
First one, he's going around kissing white men. Well, I don't know what, I don't know how you get this guy to be a super big villain. He seems like a jokester to me.
And Peyton Manning, he already got rid of all his Papa John's restaurants, right?
Yep.
So he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I used to worry about him, but I'm pretty sure he'll be all right.
Tennessee authorities say E. coli bacteria caused a sickness that affected more than 500 people at a zip line attraction.
That's because you get on one of those things and you poop yourself. Who wants to be the next guy on the ride?
Right.
It looks like someone wasn't washing their hands and there was some contaminated cooler water. So if you had picked up a bottle of water or soda from the cooler.
What kind of world do we live in? What makes one version of water cooler than the other? How dare you?
It's the way they dress, really.
How dare you?
Smoking. If that water smokes, it's automatically cool.
Oh, water was smoking.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Who?
Nacho fries are back.
Oh, tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Now, we knew that Taco Bell was going to be bringing back the nacho fries, but it's even better than we thought. It is coming back, and they're coming out with a new fake movie trailer. So remember that Josh Duhamel starred in that movie spoof, Web of Fries.
When I first realized how much I like that guy.
Yes, he's a handsome
It
fellow.
was really well done,
That's
too.
all
It looked
really
like an
well
actual
done.
movie.
Well, now, today is the relaunch.
They, the burger people. Look at that. That was my impression.
And late last night, another movie came out. This one is Web of Fries 2 Franchise Wars. And the promo shows a guy, and he's asked, is there anything that tastes better than this? And the man dips his fry into the golden cheesy sauce, and a woman says, revenge.
All right. I'm in. I think it's great.
And they, the burger people, really need to catch up and bring us back the McRib or something.
Totally.
Otherwise, we're not going to go there anymore.
Today,
Well, that's
nacho
not true.
fries
Yeah, right?
back at Taco Bell. The United States Postal Service has announced plans to officially unveil a new stamp featuring the late John Lennon.
Oh.
There's going to be
I'm going to get home and find my wife licking it. I'm going to say, you don't need to do that anymore. And she's going to say, yes, I do.
This is actually something you will need to get for your wife, Amy, because it's super cool. There's going to be a dedication ceremony held September 7th in the Namberg Bandshell in New York City Central Park.
Right, sure.
The event will be officiated by the U.S. Postmaster General, and then they're going to unveil the stamp. But here's where it gets even cooler. You can get a stamp sheet, which will feature 16 postage stamps designed to resemble a 45 RPM single sleeve. And on the reverse side will be a photo taken by Peter Fordham of John Lennon sitting at his white piano.
Okay, you know what? Sometimes, and I hate that I do this, but my mind wanders for a quick second and I'm not caught up. How are there two sides to a stamp?
No, I was wondering the same thing.
It's a sheet. And stamps are sticky.
Okay, so
you pull
separate
the stamp
stamps.
off.
It's
So-
not two sides to the same stamp.
No, piece
it's
of
two
paper.
separate stamps on opposite sides of a piece of paper.
Piece
Got
of
it.
paper.
Thank
It's
you.
sticky.
No,
You
we all
it's
got
like
it.
a sticker.
Yeah.
And on
Got
the
it.
back side will be the cool photo. And it's going to be him sitting at the piano on the back side. The other one is from the cover of his 1974 album Walls and Bridges.
A terrible album.
Well, it's a great photo.
So just stick to the backside then.
Yeah. That's kind of a policy of my house.
Forever stamps.
I've heard it's not.
No, it's not. I'm just lying. Try to be with the cool kids.
The August cover of Forbes magazine. I'm just going to pretend I don't know what you guys are talking
probably
about.
bad.
I pretend I know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Forbes magazine next month's cover will feature Kylie Jenner where it is revealed she could and might be about to become the youngest self-made billionaire ever.
I think, was it you that brought up the question, what does self-made mean in this
Yeah,
context?
because
she was
certainly-
born into this insanity.
Yeah, certainly the fame of the family.
And even
had
her
part to do with it.
physical beauty was given to her by her mother and father.
Well, you can still be called self-made if it's beauty, but no, most people are debating whether or not she can be called a self-made billionaire because she was born to great wealth.
Right.
Like Michael Bloomberg is a self-made billionaire. He
Right.
came from extreme poverty,
Right.
built it up himself. Kylie Jenner, her parents
We all agree.
appear to have given her the money to start it. However, her net worth is estimated to be over $900 million.
Now, how is that possible, by the way?
Her makeup line.
Oh, okay.
It's her makeup line. It said she's
Remember
worth...
she used to say that she got those big puffy lips by sucking the inside of a glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually got her fillers removed. She has new photos out of herself without the big puffy lips. She just did that a couple days ago.
And she's had some big modeling deals. She did a Pepsi campaign that I'm sure paid pretty
That's her
well.
sister.
I can get it to her.
Same thing.
I can get to $180 million, maybe even $225 million.
900 million's pretty
900
tough.
million. How do you do that?
Her sister, Kim Kardashian, is worth $350 million. She might take over Mark Zuckerberg, who has the title of youngest self-made billionaire ever. That was, of course, through Facebook. So she owns 100% of her makeup company, which
Wow.
has been selling since 2016.
Believe it or
And
not, I'm actually aware of how rich you can get doing that because, I was talking to my wife, a couple of years ago about Sephora, and she said, well, this lady invented this line, and she now has $7 billion. I said, no, she doesn't. You're reading that wrong. And I looked it up, and she had $700
amazing.
million or $7 billion or whatever craziness it is. So, wowee.
social media can certainly do a lot. She has over 100 million followers on Instagram.
I'd follow her.
Keep up with them or don't. She is on the verge of becoming a billionaire. That's the big news of the day. It is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
But wait. One of these days I'm going to say, wait, there's more, and there won't actually be more. But
Yeah, the
today,
show's done.
Today
Bye.
is not that day. But wait, there's more coming right up at Sarah's Filthy Forecast.
It's Sarah with your filthy forecast. Lick it up. The heat is on. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
All right.
Ooh, so many good summer songs. You're going to want to rock out with your Bach out. Sebastian Bach.
Rock out with your vodka. I loved it.
Summer's pressed right up on us this week. 81 for the high.
no.
So much sun. Thong Thursday for sure. Threadbare Thursday. I'm not wearing much. You'll be doing the same this weekend. 80s. Plenty of sunshine. Time to bust out the ice cube trick. DM me if you need a lesson.
What?
Oh, okay.
With the best weather front in Seattle, I'm Sarah.
Direct message.
Oh, okay. I thought it was filth beyond okayness. My goodness gracious. That was Sarah's Filthy Forecast. And by the way, if you can be right here tomorrow at the same time or so approximately and tell us where Sarah's Beaver's been, you're going to win a pair of tickets to see the Foo Fighters at Safeco Field. I will repeat it tomorrow morning, right around the same time. Know where Sarah's Beaver's been, and we send you to the Foo Fighters. Well, our little Tori and our little Derek going out together to battle of the bands, as I understand it. What are the details on this?
We are going to be at the Muckleshoot Casino in Club Galaxy tonight. The first band hits the stage at 8 p.m. We're going to see 3 bands play, and the crowd is going to decide who moves on to the next round. And the big winner of the entire competition is going to get a $10,000 first place cash prize.
Huge. So, you ever, what the hell did Tori and Derek look like? There's that. You can answer that.
Sure.
Or, hey, what's the greatest local band ever?
Yeah.
Now you can answer that. So stick around. All right. Thanks, Derek.
All right, that is tonight. What time did you say? 8 o'clock, Derek?
8 p.m. is when the first band hits the stage.
You're aware that you have to go to work tomorrow no matter what, right?
I am, my friend.
All right, I'm going to walk in there every now and again, give you a Red Bull, and then kick you in the butt.
That'll wake me up,
There
sure.
you go.
Derek, Paul, what did our texters say about Derek and Tori?
Oh, they said they're going to show up tomorrow wearing the same clothes.
Which, interesting enough, neither one of you two got. Well, no, let me explain this to you.
Yeah. But it's a good time always out at Muckleshoot Casino. So even, after Battle of the Bands, they might have to stick around and just
That's true.
play some games, have some fun. Muck Vegas, we call it.
Muck Vegas.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Good to know.
I like that.
There's a new study out from Wallet Hub, and they have determined for a summer road trip the best states to drive through. Now, when you go on a road trip, you have a destination, but you've got stuff planned along the way.
Yeah.
And if you've ever driven from the East Coast through the Midwest, you have to go through Pennsylvania and Ohio. It's awful. If you have to go through Kansas, it's awful. It's flat. There's nothing to see. So if you plan
That's a harsh condemnation on some of our better states.
Kansas,
Oh, come on. Don't say bad things about Kansas.
flat,
Pennsylvania, get out of Philly, a gorgeous state. That's where they have one of those things called the Catskills. Oh.
nothing. Right. But on a road trip, you then have to go from the part of that state through to Ohio, and there's nothing to see. If you go on a road trip, according to Wallet Hub, the best state to drive through is actually Wyoming because it's beautiful. Now, there's not a ton to do in Wyoming.
So didn't we just say that there was nothing to look at but the good ones, Wyoming?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Apparently.
There's mountains. There's all sorts of different landscape. Whereas, like I said, Kansas, flat and no trees, but it's just farmland. But the best states to drive through, Wyoming was at number 1 and North Carolina at number 2. And that's mainly from the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Blue Hills, rather.
Yeah.
Or the Blue Mountain. Yeah, Blue Mountains.
I think a couple of my best vacations actually cost the least. Not my last vacation, but recently, Amy and I just drove from Los Angeles to back up here, not all the way to here, like a little past San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And it cost us the food that we'd have eaten anyway and the hotels, but it was just so. Route 1 may be one of the most beautiful
that's
things in the whole world.
And I'm actually surprised that's not in the top 5.
Me too.
But that Route 1 of Northern California, LA to Northern California, is absolutely spectacular. And if you can do that whole trek from Los Angeles to here, is spectacular.
Yeah, I think we actually did Santa Barbara up to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot more to go, but I didn't feel like doing it. I was getting tired of driving. I was 800 miles at that point.
There's so many great road trips that people have taken. And then there's, sometimes it's the lame road trip. When I was just in Churchill, we went out on a tundra buggy tour, 6 hours in this monstrous vehicle. And we had met some other tourists who had gone the day before and didn't see any wildlife.
Oh.
That's a dud of a road trip.
Yeah.
I mean,
6
it's
hours.
a cool looking vehicle.
Yes.
It looks like a giant armored truck, basically.
Yep, with huge tires so you can
What
go
is
on the
it?
tundra. It's a tundra buggy.
So the polar bears don't eat you.
Is that what you're in?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's up high enough so that you can go over the tundra without sinking. You can go in water as well, not as a boat, but the tires are so big. But the point is that the polar bears can't get you. But the couple before us, their road trip, they saw nothing. We saw polar bears.
Oh, that's sad.
Rabbits. We saw a ton of stuff.
You saw rabbits?
We saw hares.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hares?
I saw an
Were
Arctic
any of them out of place?
Arctic hare, which is more exciting than a rabbit
Yeah.
and a polar bear. But sometimes those road trips are duds, is my point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're spectacular and sometimes not so much so. We would love to hear your story. You guys listening, when have you taken a really great road trip or perhaps a really lame one? Share your story by calling 800-252-1025 or text in 90627.
All right, so Sarah hates Kansas. I think that's the most important takeaway from this. But it's really is one of you had a great road trip, of which I have had many, or one of you had a disaster, I say, of a road trip. You can give us a call 1-800-252-1025 or text to 90627.
We'll start with our friend Denisha in North Bend.
Hey, Denisha.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, my little story is, we went over to the Omak Stampede, and we were picking apples to have a fun weekend. And it ended up, we were in a campground, and we started burning the teepee poles of the local Native Americans. They were not too happy about that. Well, we didn't know. And then
You thought, well, I'm going to burn those teepees.
Yeah.
I hope they don't belong to Indians.
But did you think it was just firewood?
we thought it was just firewood. We were like, duh, we don't know. So then on the way back, and our van broke down. It was full of apples, and we had to have somebody come rescue. So that was a lot of fun.
All right.
Very colorful firewood that they have here in Omak.
It's the kind that guy from Papa John's burns, I believe.
Yeah, serious.
Let's hear from our friend Jeremiah in Seattle.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Morning, sunshine again.
Morning, sweetheart. What's up?
When I was stationed over in Germany, we went and took a trip over to old Bavaria, and we went and seen all the old medieval castles that were there standing in that. That was awesome.
That's a
And
beautiful
this was in
part of the
Germany?
world. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen. I've never been to Germany except as stops in an airport that I think of. But those old Bavarian towns that they put together in the real sense, like we have. What's the name of ours?
Leavenworth.
Leavenworth. Haven't been there yet. Got to take
just
that
go there.
road trip.
Then you don't have to go to
I don't
Germany.
have to go to Germany. The problem is Germany. Don't you? They keep it in Germany.
Exactly. Yeah, Leavenworth definitely worth the road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What's
it's
the
a
one
beautiful
in
road trip?
What's the one in California called?
Solvang.
Solvang. I sent you a postcard from your thing.
Yeah, that's the Scandinavian one. That one's awesome
Same
too.
thing.
We are asking if you've taken a great road trip or a really lame one. Wallet Hub has a list of the best U.S. states to take a road trip through, and Wyoming is at number one. Let's talk to Mike Consultant.
Hey,
Good
Mike.
morning, sir. Good morning, Stinky Sexy Abaducci.
What's up, man?
Hey, I took one trip out to Iowa to see my sister. It started out great. I took a different route on the way home, went through Nebraska. There's no reason for that state to exist.
I could not agree with you more, man.
It only exists because it gave us our boss.
On his way to the excitement of Iowa, he had to
Yeah.
be bored with Nebraska.
Everything that's wrong with our boss, and that's an awful lot of stuff, happens from the fact that he was born in Nebraska.
That's right. Let's talk to Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Well, me and my wife, we hopped on our Harley, left Louisville, went up into the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg over in Tennessee. Just had a great time.
Yeah, having done a good portion of your trip, I would have to say some of God's best work.
It's
The
beautiful.
Smoky
down there.
Mountains,
Yeah.
oh my God. I thought they were on fire most of the time because they're really smoky. They look like smoke a couple of times. Then you realize, oh man, that's natural.
It is a really, really part of our country. It's funny how many people, when they think about going on vacations, everyone's like, let's go to Mexico or let's go to Europe. Like, there are a lot of spectacular road trips to be taken here in America.
There are, when you're going up Route 1, it's the most natural beauty that you've ever seen anywhere, and the redwoods. And then I realized I was out on a boat, and I'm looking back at it, and I thought, if anybody told me this is the south of France and completely exotic and crazy and not my neighboring town, I'd say shenanigans. But we had some of the most beautiful stuff there is, I think.
Yeah.
What about Farmer Ted in Seattle? Tell us about your road trip.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're all good, Farmer Ted. What do you got?
So my kids, when they were growing up, they were all wrestlers, and I used to drive them all over the place to go to wrestling tournaments. But the most boring drive we ever made was 14 hours to Winnemucca, Nevada.
Wow. That's
Middle of nowhere.
That seems crazy. I was thinking that's where I was trying to go. All right, but yeah, that is crazy. And it seems like our end states are taking a beating. Like if you went alphabetically,
Nebraska, Nevada.
yeah.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Hampshire.
North Carolina.
Nobody wants to go to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire is really pretty.
Really?
Yeah. What about, let's hear from James calling from Bothell.
Hey, James.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Well, I don't know if this constitutes as a road trip, but I was 6 years old, I rode my tricycle down Main Street of Bothell.
Yeah, no, I think that counts.
Yeah. You're on the road.
I think you put the bug in you and explains a lot about your behavior.
Brent in Port Townsend. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, Brent.
Great morning, guys. Hey, I had an epic party trip, so my buddy and I took a Toyota just loaded to the gills from Ballard to Homer, Alaska.
Whoa, that's far.
Yeah, we going fishing up there, and we explored all the big lakes in Canada and the crazy people. Amazing.
Yeah, I was kidding about the problem with Germany is it's kept in Germany. But the problem with Alaska, because it's so gorgeous and so wonderful, that most of it is kept in Alaska.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem for me.
I remember when me and my best girlfriend, Barb, did our road trip from Connecticut, and we drove here to Seattle, and then we were going to drive up to Alaska. We're looking at a map thinking, totally doable. And then when you put in like point to point, you realize that's like 3,000 miles.
Yeah, it's a big state.
So far. We skipped it. Let's hear from Lenny in Tacoma.
Hey, Lenny, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's everybody else today?
Oh, good. Did you recover? Lenny put a 20-pound fish in the box yesterday. And
Wow.
I don't know that I have ever personally caught anything 20 pounds, and I've fished most of my life. So I was very impressed with you. What do you got for us today, Lenny?
Well, I just got back from Nia Bay, and unlike when you and I go clamming at the ocean, it's pretty flat surf and everything there. But up in Nia Bay, you've got a lot of rocks and trees that come right down to the water, and the water crashes up against. So the drive when you're going up there, you're going over rivers, you got woods, you got beach. I mean, it's everything, and it's beautiful up there.
Well,
and great fishing, right?
Yeah, by the way, the last time we went clamming, when I got home, I scraped some of the sand off my toes and put it in a jar so I can always remember the day I went clamming with my friend Lane.
Yeah, for those of you who are not fully familiar, they've never gone clamming together.
That is completely untrue. I got a jar full of sand, says Lenny on it.
I wouldn't be surprised by that you have a jar full of sand that says Lenny on it, but you've never been clamming.
Good morning, Don in Tacoma. You want to tell us about your road trip?
Yeah, 37 years ago, my wife and I were newlyweds, and we drove from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way to Sacramento, California, where my dad lives.
That's a heck of a road trip. That's far.
Used to live, yes.
Yeah, that is a real live drive.
With a woman, by the way, that you just married. That's make or break the marriage, right?
Yeah. You know, they say that one of the best ways to know how you're going to work out is to take a vacation together.
Yeah.
And I went on a vacation with my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time, and I said, they have that expression, that way to tell a person to take a vacation with them. And I thought, you just did great. I think that's good. She goes, we've been married 10 years. She still did fine.
And how about Darren calling from Everett?
Hey, Darren.
Hey, good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
And a special shout out to Tori. Hello, Tori.
Thank you. And it turned weird.
Yeah. Anyway, So I took a motorcycle ride up to Sturgis, man. This was like a week-long vacation that I had. And it was a good ride. I took 2 days to get up there. It was a lot of fun.
From where?
From Everett, Washington.
Okay, so give you an idea of where, because I would have thought that's a lot further, but it's not apparently.
Yeah.
From Everett to Sturgis, that's got to be a good 1,500 miles,
Yeah,
you say?
I had double that. I put Sturgis on the other side of the country.
And what about Dave in Federal Way?
Hey, Dave.
How's the day from Guam, guys? Good morning.
Morning.
What's up, buddy?
I want to send a shout out to all my Guamanians listening. Shout out, Guamanians.
Shout out, Guamanians.
A lot of shout outs.
I don't think that's how the shout outs work. You just yell a nation.
What?
What up, Guam?
Hump day.
That was yesterday, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, on Guam, it's not so big over there. You can get around the whole island in 3 hours, but we do it on mopeds, so it's like a road trip. We stop at all the local beaches, bars, and pubs and stuff like that, and it's a real beautiful time with my friends.
Drunken moped riding. I realize as a responsible broadcaster, I've got to say, oh, how could you? But the real life guy, how fun is, because you can't really hurt anybody else on the moped. You can only get hurt. So if you want to be irresponsible, have at it. I would go drinking and mopeding with my friend Dave.
And there's no other way, really, to go enjoy a road trip on a tiny island.
This is true.
I didn't know you could get around Guam in a day.
3 hours.
I don't know that it's true. Dave's on drugs.
Steve in Mill Creek, tell us about your road trip.
Hey, well, Wyoming, number one. Well,
well, you can go lots of places.
Grand Tetons. I mean, that's beautiful, but
yes, they are.
I've done from Ogden, Utah to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's an 8-hour drive from hell.
Oh, is that true? Because I would think that Cheyenne, Wyoming just sounds so exotic and interesting.
I thought it was pretty, but did it just get repetitive, Steve?
Well, what's that?
Was it just repetitive?
No, it's like lowland hills. I mean, no gas stations, just straight drive for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Boo.
I think I was just about to tell this. That I got fired from my job in Philadelphia for being drunk, and it was my fault. Yeah. Well, it was shocking. It was not my MO, really. But I did. I got drunk on the air and got fired for it, and you should hear the air check someday. But anyway, so I got a job in Phoenix, Arizona, And my mom said, you're in no condition to try and drive. Maybe you'll sober up on the drive. I'll drive you. And my mom, who was 63 back then, drove me from Philadelphia to Phoenix, Arizona, while I got just drunk in the backseat and yelled about every life being unfair.
Paul, didn't you just take a road trip from hell to Bend, Oregon?
No, I didn't actually.
Where in Oregon did you go?
I haven't been to Oregon recently.
No, but like 2 or 3 months ago. You drove down there 8 hours, then you went to a party that didn't happen, and then you turned around and drove home?
No, I think you're thinking of somebody else.
This is Paul.
It was your
Oh, sorry. I'd love to tell the story. I just don't know how it goes.
That happens with me all the
who
time.
got out of the military?
Because sometimes she'll look at me and she go, "Aren't you obsessed?" And I think, well, I can either make this up or make it
Your
weird.
cousin got out of the military.
Yeah.
You had
My
to
nephew,
drive to Oregon.
Part of this is starting to make a little more sense.
There you go.
My nephew was home on leave, and we went and saw him in Eugene, but it was a decent trip.
Oh.
Nothing really notable about
Wasn't it like 7 hours to Eugene?
It's a ways down to Eugene. It's certainly a lot more than just taking
Somewhere
a hop down
between
to Portland.
6 and 8 hours.
To go for a weekend? That sounds awful.
It wasn't so bad.
Oh, I do it all the time.
7 hours each way?
I don't know,
For
it's
a
7
weekend?
hours. Certainly, I do Portland, which is 3, and I do Vancouver, which is 4.
That's 3, yeah. Double that.
Okay,
For a
but
weekend.
the point is, I see that's not terrible to me. That seems great to me.
I think we like road trips more
than you do.
so.
Yeah, because you hate Kansas.
I
What's
don't
wrong with
mind
you?
a road trip, but to drive 7 hours, spend the night, and then drive another 7 hours home sounds like hell.
But listening to Kansas the whole time, it's fine.
So tell us your own version of your road
Oh,
trip
my
story.
mom was driving much like Danny's, but she was driving a Greyhound bus that had been converted into a motorhome. My parents actually owned one for a while. We took this road trip when I was a kid. It was about 3 weeks, a little longer than 3 weeks. We went back to visit family in Wisconsin. But my favorite part was somewhere in Colorado. 2 of my sisters got out at a gas station, and then my dad accidentally drove off, not knowing that they were not in the bus. But I knew they weren't in the bus. And for the next 3 exits, I was like in heaven. I was like, nobody knows. I'm the only one in the bus who knows that that they're not in it.
Oh, what an evil brother.
My longest road trip on a bus was
Going to jail.
800 feet, I would think. Shirley Jones would say, "Here we go." We'd go, "Oh, Mom," and then we drive 10 feet out of the shot and start over.
Thanks for all your calls and texts. We will be right back with the news. Well, early this morning, we learned of a standoff in Mukilteo that has come to an end. That sleepy neighborhood in Mukilteo was woken to the sound of flashbang grenades exploding, the electrical crack of a bullhorn as police tried to end the hours-long standoff with a domestic violence suspect. Well, it did come to an end when police entered the home at 6:45 a.m., and the suspect was gone.
No, that's not how I thought this was going to work itself out.
Police are now searching for him after he failed to respond to those flashbangs and instructions to come out with his hands up. That's when they entered and realized he's gone.
So was
there
he never
anybody
there?
in the what?
Was he never there?
No, he was there. He was there, and he is a 20-year-old white male who is 6'2", 150 pounds, wearing a dark blue T-shirt and jeans.
6'2", 150.
Yep.
This guy is not eating his vegetables.
The woman who was the victim was attacked, she says, with something sharp. She got out of the house and went to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries, and he has disappeared.
Wow. Does that make those guys look silly? Because it was a big standoff with grenades and stuff, and there's no one in the house. It seems silly.
Well, you wonder, how did he get away? How did he get out the back door without anyone seeing?
Well, he came in through the bathroom window.
They put down that layer of smoke for him, though, and he was able to sneak out. It
Yeah.
was kind of nice of them.
The County Burger and Teriyaki restaurant in Kent caught fire early this morning. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and firefighters were able to get it under control. This happened about 3:45 a.m. Smoke and flames shooting out of the back part of the restaurant, and they are still trying to figure out what caused this fire and where it originated.
You know, when I was watching it unfold, I thought, because it's an adorable little burger stand, and it says Country Burger on a sign, has a picture of a burger that, you know, obviously is the country burger that they sell, whatever it is. You look at this little box of a thing, and you realize that's some guy's dream.
Yeah.
That he worked his whole life to have his burger store, and it caught fire. I was bumming for the guy.
Well, we were just talking about Wallet Hub, who came out with their list of the best states to road trip through. They have also come out with their list of the cities with the worst commutes and the best commutes, for that matter. When it comes to traffic, the best cities to drive in, as in the least amount of congestion, Raleigh, North Carolina. So these are the most populated cities, and so you'll recognize
Most
the
populated
names.
by what scenario? It's Raleigh.
Well, as in they're not looking at tiny town Nebraska.
I feel like they are, but all right.
The 100 most populated cities, the best to drive in: Raleigh, Corpus Christi, Orlando, probably because everyone's in a jazzy chair, Greensboro, North Carolina, Plano, Texas, Winston-Salem. Now, on the other end of the spectrum...
You put all of those places you just mentioned together, and it's in a medium-sized town.
Yeah.
Those are some tiny, 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 teeny towns.
Worst city to drive in. Would you like to guess, Danny?
I'm going to go with Los Angeles, California.
Not even close.
Really?
LA comes in at number 9 of
Wow.
worst cities to drive in. At number 1, it is Detroit.
Detroit. Are these American cities?
Indeed. That's followed by San Francisco, Oakland, California, Philadelphia, and worst cities to drive in, Seattle, number 5.
Seattle worse than Los Angeles?
Yep.
That's happened a couple of times on these surveys.
Yeah.
Seattle, 5th worst city to drive in. Here's a terrible story in the news. A 4th of July fireworks display was just beginning when Eric Mendoza realized his 91-year-old grandfather was missing. He thought maybe he'd gone for his daily walk. He likes to keep fit. So he looked around his Los Angeles neighborhood looking for 91-year-old grandpa. He then found a blood-stained sidewalk.
Oh.
Grandpa, 91-year-old Rodolfo Rodriguez. Who
Stabbed somebody, right?
No.
Oh.
He is a permanent resident of the U.S. of A., had been attacked with a brick and taken to the hospital for a broken cheekbone and 2 ribs.
Ooh, cheekbones are a drag.
This dude got messed up. 91 years old. Witnesses have now come forward and said his 91-year-old grandpa accidentally bumped into a young girl while walking. The child's mother, a black woman, then pushed the elderly man to the ground and bashed him in the face with a concrete brick, yelling, "Go back to your own country."
Wow. This woman, there seems to be a fight every now and again for the most hated person in America.
Yeah.
You know, and they go around like this guy that stole that little girl's puppy right from her arms. He's probably at the high of those. This lady, pretty high on the list of I hate yous.
Yeah.
30-year-old LaQuisha Jones has now been arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon and is in L.A. County Jail.
Is that a hate crime?
It could be viewed as was xenophobia, hate crimes.
Yeah, most of xenophobia, if you do anything about your xenophobia, it becomes a hate crime.
Yeah, I would think so.
I know that most of the time it seems that hate crimes are used for gay rights. The hate crimes seem to be more targeted in that direction. This is really weird because he's a U.S. citizen.
You know, it was a mistake. That's how she was wrong.
Right.
She was
Crazy.
big racist xenophobe, but it was also mistaken.
So she's being charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
Like that, the victim doesn't have to be the person you think they are to make you racist or to make it a hate crime.
I just have not seen hate crime being thrown about with this story, but it is just awful. This poor man. On to Florida, where we know things are not right.
All right.
A Florida man says he feels like he might be the next Kardashian because he really enjoyed being arrested. He felt like he was on a hit reality TV show.
Is this a thing that happens to Kardashians and I'm unaware of it?
No, it's reality TV, though. He felt like
I feel like the next Kardashian. I've been arrested.
Yeah, I don't know that they've gotten arrested, but he just feels
I'm
famous.
sure a couple of those people have been arrested.
Right, but that's not what they're famous for.
Okay, right, so?
Well, he feels like he's on reality TV, is the point. Rudolph Grant, age 53, was arrested, and he was apparently smelling strongly of alcohol, screaming in front of his house. As cops started to arrest him, he made his body limp. They then placed
a 2-year-old, and it works.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
They placed him in a double-locked mechanical restraint due to his erratic behavior, and he said, "I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed resisting. This is fun. This is like being on live PD."
Was he on live PD?
No. But he felt like
so this
he was
is just
on...
like being on reality TV, except without the cameras or the TV show.
You got it. Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Crazy person. Well, it was just a little over a week ago that Zsa Zsa won the world's ugliest dog contest.
I think that's unreasonable.
She is so ugly, or should I say, was.
Oh, well, she was 100.
She was 9.
I'm confused a little bit.
It was a dog.
Oh,
That's the
Zsa
world,
Zsa entirely.
right? Yeah. So world's ugliest dog competition. This was a dog.
And
Did I
I
leave
think
that
that she
word out?
shouldn't even run.
We're not talking about Zsa Zsa Gabor.
You left
She's
out the word
dead.
dog.
I don't think I did.
Said the word the world's ugliest dog.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Yeah, all right.
Zsa Zsa, the world's ugliest dog,
So you mean the Hungarian sisters?
has died.
Oh, it's sad, but she was.
She was
100.
like 100. Yeah. In dog years.
No, she was 63 in dog years. All right, I
That's
got
like
you.
100.
Moving on
It is. Oh, I got it.
to dumb Americans.
We've got a few.
Yeah. Here go our texts right now with their votes.
A 24-year-old American tourist caused a panic at Vienna's airport when she put an unexploded World War II artillery shell in front of customs officials. She said, "Well, this is a souvenir and I would like to take this home." And they said, "You are crazy." They had to call the bomb disposal unit to get rid of it. It was a 3-inch caliber artillery shell. And they said, "No, you can't take this home."
How's she supposed to know it's that it's a dud
Yeah. Or that it's not a dud.
or that it's not a
Yeah.
dud?
Well, you shouldn't pick up missiles.
No.
But they sell like that, like fake, like grenades that are inert. and
I
they
pick
sell.
up way less stuff off the street that from what I learned, and this maybe 20, 25 years ago, that during the Afghan war or Afghanistan war with the Russians, that they'd make like little duck heads and just leave them on the road, or Pez dispensers and leave them by the side of the road in the grass.
Yeah.
So you'd naturally go, "Oh, what's that?" and pick it up and blow your little fingers off.
Mm.
And they got really famous for that. Now I wonder about that all the time because now there's all those mines all around the world.
While you're geocaching around Green Lake, you should be
Dude, I
careful.
went yesterday. I was scared. It was under a bed. Oh, I can't tell you. It was somewhere. But we were both scared putting our fingers in there.
Well, this woman did find it hiking,
Oh,
and now she is facing charges for negligent endangerment. Fined
Well-
$5,000 too, as well she should be. I'm going to triple.
I don't think she should be facing criminal
No,
charges.
I don't think really. We let people be that stupid all the time.
And we hear all the time about how people go through security at an airport and they go, "Oh,
My
I forgot
gun."
my gun was
Yeah.
on me loaded," and then all they make them do is take it back to their car, or they'll seize it if they
Yep.
won't take it and put it somewhere. But
I'll take it and put it somewhere.
I bet you would.
Well, only a 22 caliber. I'm working.
Crazy video has surfaced of 2 neighbors getting into an argument and one of them chasing the other. But the reason this video is circulating is because one of the men is being chased by another man in his tractor. His wife decided to film the whole terrifying video while she called 911. I wanted to make sure she had some proof in case anything happened further than being chased by a tractor. So she calls the cops, and you can hear her say, "He's chasing my husband. My husband's running. He's vandalizing our property." A 72-year-old man has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, I can see it because at first I was going, "How do you chase somebody in a tractor?" It's stupid. But then one of you 73, these are a couple of older cats fooling around and being silly.
And the modern tractor goes a lot faster than you would think.
It does, but it doesn't corner as well as I do.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get hit by your tractor.
Neighbor wars.
Neighbor
Just
wars,
Don't do
yeah.
it. A man called 911 not once, not twice, but 3 times. Why, you ask?
Order pizza.
He needed a ride home.
Oh.
Oh, see, I had to get your mom to be quiet.
So, yeah, he calls 911. They said, "This is the emergency line. Please don't call here again unless you're having an emergency." Well, he got mad and called again.
Because he's
And
got
then
an
again.
emergency. He needs to get home.
He needed a ride home. So finally, the cops went to give him a ride. Only on his person, they found weed, pills that turned out to be Xanax, and some cocaine, and he has been arrested.
That's why he needs a ride. He's in no shape to drive.
He's no shape, a responsible citizen,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Pennsylvania, a man allegedly poached almost 4,000 turtles from New Jersey coastal marshes and then sold them as pets. And guess what you can't do?
Poach a turtle.
And sell it as a pet.
But you can poach a turtle?
You cannot poach a turtle.
You can poach
this
an
guy's,
egg.
This guy's breaking like 3 laws right here.
Yeah.
He caught diamondback terrapins and their eggs from the coastal marshes of New Jersey and then sold them as pets across state lines.
Can you poach a turtle egg? I like a good poached egg.
I am willing to bet a turtle egg tastes disgusting.
Well, I'm willing to bet $1 million you're wrong.
I bet it tastes like
For a
fishy
woman who
eggs.
only eats fish, that's a tough stance to take.
Fishy eggs. Ugh. Well, these are prized pets. However, they are protected in New Jersey and across state lines. So this dude's facing a whole slew of
With
charges.
all the drama they have going on in the fine state of New Jersey, how you treat your turtle is high on the list.
10-year prison sentence is what he's facing. For stealing turtles.
Per incident, per turtle?
Per egg. So 9 million years.
Yeah.
Each
Lock this guy up for life.
Yeah.
faces 5 years, so he's facing the maximum of 10.
They should lock him up for the life of the turtle. You can get out when the thing dies of natural causes, which is 165 years from now.
Did you say 165?
I did.
That's a long living turtle.
Yep.
Yeah.
A story out of Canada is making the rounds. Very odd
Do you know how I
story.
get that date, by the way?
How?
Big thing in Finding Nemo.
Oh, really?
I know. It's the whole purpose why he's not at home.
Yeah.
He's trying to find out how long turtles live for his son. And at the end of all the craziness, he yells, "It's 165. What, Dad? How many years that turtle will live?"
Yeah, I think that's the
Spoiler
giant turtles that are on the Galapagos.
That's the cartoon turtle, Sarah.
Yeah, I don't think diamondback terrapins live to 185, but you never know.
You
Not
never
if Paul's around. An elderly Canadian woman inadvertently stole a car and kept it for 2 weeks after mistaking it for her rental. So she went, got in the rental car and goes to Walmart, picks up some groceries. Then she leaves Walmart and gets into the car and drives away.
That her keys also work for?
Well, it was the fact that the guy left his key fob in the car.
Oh, so it's a push button like a lot of cars now.
Yep.
So she's got the keys in her pocket. He left his key in the car. She gets in, pushes
Amy
the button,
always
and it
made me
starts up.
take the keys because I never take the keys out of my car, except that, at home sometimes after I started getting proud. But it's just not my thing. I leave them in the glove box or whatever it is, and I always know where my keys are.
Well, this is just one of those weird lines of circumstance. So she gets into the car, which is not the black Nissan Sentra that she rented. It was a black Infiniti QX50.
No, almost the same as that car.
A little bit of an upgrade.
Luxury SUV. So the dude leaves his keys in. That's why she was able to start it. Then she gets to her destination. She calls the rental car company and says, "Why is this car so dirty? I just looked around. There's stuff in the back seat. There's a bunch of stuff in the trunk. What's going on here?" The guy goes out to get in his car and thinks his car has been stolen. They finally track this woman down, and the guy's not going to press charges because she said, "I'm sorry."
Sorry.
And he did not have a leg to stand on.
What was an accident?
Right. And then once you leave, it's implied consent that
Because the keys left in the car.
the keys left in the car. She couldn't do anything to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Canadian police said that he could have charged her because she didn't do anything after driving the car away, as in kept it for 2 weeks. But old lady, and he said, "I will not be pressing charges," and the cops let her go with a laugh.
Well, that sucks.
Oh, Canada.
Don't not put me in jail and then laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd prefer to putting me in jail and laughing.
Right.
Music news, entertainment, and sports all right around the corner. We will be talking with Tori, who will be telling us all the new music that is in stores tomorrow, and some strange update to that new show on Showtime this weekend, starring Sacha Baron Cohen. Tell you all about that next. Starting with music news, Lynyrd Skynyrd were confirmed as the headliners of the Southern Rock Cruise 2019, which will sail to Mexico.
Who the hell are the co-headliners on that?
Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers, Blackberry Smoke, the Marshall Tucker Band,
Okay.
Molly Hatchet, the Kentucky Headhunters, and more. So Lynyrd Skynyrd.
I thought his headhunters is somebody that got executives' jobs. But I don't put those together with Kentucky.
No.
SouthernRockCruise.com. They said there'll be tons of performances, great interaction. the very best dining service, and that there'll be Q&A sessions, panel discussions, guitar seminars, and more, all about Southern rock.
All right.
Should be fun.
I would have just thought they made that whole expression up, Southern rock, and then I saw a documentary on them as the face of Southern rock, and it's a real life. It's not like a thing; it's a quality thing. It's a good time thing.
Mm-hmm. Late Steely Dan bassist and guitarist Walter Becker will be saluted in his hometown of New York City this fall, when the street he grew up on will be renamed in his honor. This will be at the corner of 112th Street and 72nd Drive in Forest Hills.
You're going to rename 1st Street and 2nd Street after a guy?
112th Street.
Well, I get that it's not actually one, but I didn't jot them all down. It just seems super impersonal.
That's what they normally do in New York, like where the Ramones have their street, where a lot of other famous people have their street. It really is just on a corner, because for map purposes and mail purposes, you can't really rename the entire street. It's symbolic with a street sign.
Well, I don't know how Phil Bivens got the corner of savings. How the hell do you do that?
Right.
Well, it is Thursday.
I don't know what that means.
It means tomorrow's Friday.
I know what that means.
That means we've got new music in stores.
Oh,
Lots on the agenda for this week, including something from some music legends. What's the story, Tori?
All right, so the Beatles are getting a release. In honor of its 50th anniversary, Yellow Submarine will be released as a limited edition 7-inch vinyl picture disc.
I can't remember if that's a totally stupid album or if it's just that it's the cartoon thing.
Well, it's off of Revolver.
See, Revolver's a
which
great
is a great
album.
album.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So this is going to come in a yellow sleeve, and the wax will feature the iconic Yellow Submarine from the animated film.
That sounds neat.
Really cute.
Did you ever see that? Are you too young to have seen that?
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm sure Amy loves it. And guess what? A
What?
digitally remastered version of the film will be returning to cinemas for the first time since 1999.
That's a weird coincidence.
I know.
We were talking about that in my house last night.
Really?
There's a
way.
movie theater that plays kind of quirky movies and serves you pizza.
Yeah.
Central Cinema, is that it? Whatever it is. And we're just saying, what list of movies would you like to see? And we were saying, which Beatles? So I said Help. She's at Hard Day's Night or some such argument. But we're just talking, what are the odds?
Yeah, well, on Friday, July 13th, at the Egyptian Theater, they're going to play it.
All right.
Play
So
Yellow
tomorrow night.
Submarine.
I'm going.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Starting, though. They're going to keep continuing on, so
Oh,
you
okay.
don't have to go tomorrow.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know, Tori, you have a tattoo of one of their logos, the Rolling Stones. What is coming out from them?
All right.
Ew, I hope nothing. It's a tattoo. It's gross.
So that tattoo, by the way, I went with Gibbons to go get a Nirvana tattoo because it was the 50th anniversary of In Utero, and they didn't let me get one because they said I was too young. And I got really mad, and Gibbons used to brag all the time. So later that day, I went and got the Rolling Stones lips because
Good for
that's
you.
cooler anyway.
You were too young?
I was too young.
They thought she wasn't over 18.
Yeah. Which is
Were you?
ridiculous. I think I was. I don't know. They said no, though.
I think
That's
you
super
maybe had
weird.
just turned 19 or something like
Something
that. You
like
should have
I
gotten
don't think
it.
they thought you were too young to get a tattoo. They thought you were too young to appreciate Nirvana.
See, I disagree. I thought
whatever.
they were too young to be hanging around with Gibbons.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
probably it. Okay, so for this release, the Stones are going to release From the Vault, No Security, San Jose, 1999. This is a really special live album. The Stones over 2 nights, which is actually pretty small for the Rolling Stones.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, this tour was super raw, no frills, no inflatables or big stage setups. It's just a badass rockin' concert featuring some of their strongest and somewhat sober performances.
I remember they did a no security performance one time, and some guy got stabbed in the chest in the 3rd row and killed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Altamont, you know
Yeah,
that
that's
story.
Altamont. Yeah, with the Hells Angels.
Right.
That was crazy. Definitely not this show, but you can get it on Blu-ray, vinyl, or digital. The vinyl's $40.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like you just told us about a whole slew of Grateful Dead reissues, but now there are more. Is this true?
Yes, there's another 50th anniversary. It's the Grateful Dead. They're re-releasing their second album, Anthem.
How do you have another, sorry to interrupt, but how do you have another 50th anniversary? It's like, hey, we had a 50th anniversary. Hey, now we have another
3
50th
years
anniversary.
ago.
Are they 100 years old now?
Well,
Did you
no.
look at them?
I mean, we talked about the Beatles. They had a 50th anniversary
Yeah.
for Yellow
They're the
Submarine.
Beatles, young lady.
Yeah, and then now the Grateful Dead have a 50th anniversary.
Oh, so it's not the second one for the Grateful
No,
Dead. It's
they're
just
not
the second
that
one we're
old.
talking about.
I'm not fully sure I understand anymore.
Okay, so they're re-releasing their second album, Anthem of the Sun, originally released in 1968.
The famous re-release. I've
this-
heard about it. Never seen seen it.
This album isn't your typical Dead record, though. It's much more psychedelic and experimental and was groundbreaking in its day. It's combining live albums live recordings and studio recordings mishmashed together to create this kind of hybrid song sound.
Oh, weird.
This is it right here. It doesn't really sound like the Dead.
No. But it sounds like if you had a bunch of acid, it'd be great.
Exactly. So they refer to this as a musical collage. It's a 50th anniversary release, and it's going to feature 1971, a remix, a live recording from the band's show at San Francisco's Winterland in 67, and it's going to come out in a 12-inch vinyl picture disc, which will be limited to 10,000 copies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do see something is coming out from a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member, Elvin Bishop. What do we got here?
Okay, so Elvin Bishop was an original guitarist for the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. He was a bit outshined when Mike Bloomfield joined the band as lead guitarist, but nonetheless, this guy's kind of talented. He's releasing his second album with the band Big Fun Trio, and this is titled Something Smells Funky Round Here.
You're too.
I know, right? So here's it.
I'm not talking about funky like a groove.
Danny, you sounds like you should be in this band.
All right, I'm in.
I don't know if I'm in for the songwriting, but it sounds good. It sounds better than you sold it, Tori, because you said some guy you never heard of from a band you never heard of is kind of talented, although not as talented as the other guy in the band.
Can you tell what I think about this?
You don't love it.
Well said, young lady.
Well, he is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so apparently a lot of people do care a lot for Elvin Bishop.
I like the music more than I like the words.
Well, if you want, you can catch him on tour this summer, but just not in Seattle. Too bad.
Where do I have to
Follow
road
him
trip
around
to?
the country, Paul.
I will.
Cali. Go to Cali.
Okay.
All right, Tori, anything else?
There is Mr. Big live from Milan and Jason Isbell, Sirens of the Ditch.
Okay. Is it wrong that I just love Mr. Big?
No, Mr. Big's a classic.
It's good.
See, they had one hit
I'm
or
the
something.
one who wants to be with you.
But what a great voice.
Deep inside, I know
And
you
then
feel it too.
I Googled what that song was about because I was positive that I knew, and according to that thing, I didn't know as much as I thought I knew, but I still think they're lying.
The rest I'm going to put up at KZOK.com.
All right, thank you very much, Tori. In entertainment news, we are finding out that Frank Lloyd Wright's Ennis House is going up for sale in Los Feliz.
Ennis House?
Ennis House. The reason you might know this house is it was featured in Blade Runner.
It's featured in a couple of major movies. It was at the corner of my house, my last house in California.
1982 sci-fi classic Blade Runner is where most people know this house for. It was built in 1923. It was the largest of his houses in this textile block design. And it could be yours for the low price of $23 million.
Wow.
$23 million. It was also featured in Karate Kid 3.
Yep.
The Replacement Killers, Rush Hour on TV. It was featured in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Star Trek Next Generation.
It's got this, when you look at it from the outside on your way, and it's totally like Aztec vibe. You know, like a ceremonial cave of some kind. And I think that's what he was going for, but it's not the prettiest house on the block.
Yeah, it looks kind of ugly.
Inside, it doesn't. It does not look ugly at all. $23 million. All right, a lot of people have been wondering about this new show on Showtime that features Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, I wasn't wondering about it. I was wondering how anybody could give that guy a show again.
Well, a lot of people have been revisiting when he was Ollie G. Now, for example, when he was Ollie G, he was only one character. Sacha Baron Cohen was Ollie G, and he would interview people. For example, he interviewed Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin sat down with him, and Ollie G asked him ridiculous questions. And Buzz Aldrin answered them all. Here's an example.
Do you think man will ever walk on the sun?
No. The sun is too hot. It is not a good place to go to.
What happens if they went in winter when the sun is cold?
The sun is not cold in the winter.
Okay.
How do you not catch on to that?
I see. That's the part that I love so much is he did these interviews and people didn't get it. And I think it was particularly easy for him to do with Americans because they just thought, okay, there's some sort of like cultural barrier here that I'm not getting.
Yeah.
But he would just ask outrageous, outlandish questions, and they would give an honest answer.
I have one more here involving Donald Trump, and Ali G is pitching him a product.
What is the most popular thing in the world?
Music.
No.
Tell me.
Ice cream.
Okay.
Everyone has it. And what is the problem with ice cream?
I have no idea.
It drips.
Okay.
So my idea is what?
To make a drip-proof ice cream.
No. Well, my idea is to come out with just like these ice cream gloves that make the ice cream not go on your hands and make it all well sticky, and also keep your hands warm.
Okay.
When you is eating the ice cream.
Okay. Why
Is you win or is you win?
Okay. Well, it sounds like a good idea, and I hope you make a lot of money. Good luck, folks. It's been nice seeing you. You take care of yourself, okay?
Is you going to be in on that?
Well, it sounds like an interesting...
We've got like P. Diddy is going to be in it.
Good.
You know what? Because it's just not my thing. Because if anybody was ever going to be skewered, it's Trump.
Yeah.
And just the whole thing just still makes me uncomfortable a little bit. And why does he speak like that? Not in the
That's his
accent,
character.
but with me.
It's
Me do this fine.
It's like not Cockney. What? It's like the gritty streets of a part of England where they have poor grammar.
It's just slang. That character that he's playing. That's the slang that
he uses.
Yeah. So that's the entire character. So a lot of people wondering.
I agree that is the entire character, by the way.
I'm telling you, Danny, watch some of these montages. They are hilarious.
I'm sure. It's just not my. He lost me with the people from Auschwitz when he pranked survivors from
that was
Auschwitz.
Borat.
That's it.
So remember, that's a different character.
None of them are characters. They're a man cashing a check for pranking survivors of a concentration camp. It's awful.
So a lot of people wondering what this next show will be because Sarah Palin spoke out and said she was duped by him. And now Joe Walsh, a one-term U.S. congressman turned conservative radio host, believes he too was pranked by Sacha Baron Cohen for this show. He, after Sarah Palin went viral with her circumstance with Sacha Baron Cohen, he said he believes the same thing happened to him. He said, as a side note, I get it. He's a comedian. It can be very funny, but mocking a disabled veteran to spoof Sarah Palin is a serious matter. I may have experienced the same thing. Now,
he pranked Sarah Palin?
He may have been pranked by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Totally different thing, because I would think that's funny. You get pranked by Sarah Palin.
Conservative publisher Matt Drudge this week posted a list of people who may have been duped, and Ted Koppel's name is on that list. General David Petraeus, Senator Trent Lott, former Attorney General Alberto Gonzalez are just some of the few people, some of the people we're finding out about. Joe Walsh's name is not on there. Sarah Palin's name is not on there. So we don't even have confirmation that she's correct. We'll find out Sunday.
I don't usually say these words. Sarah Palin is correct. But I think Sarah Palin is correct.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Mariners pitching on track. Marco Gonzalez pitched a doozy, and he became Seattle's first 10-game winner last night as the Mariners topped the Angels 3-0. Catcher David Freitas, who's filling in for Mike Zunino, hit his first career home run. Very cool. And the All-Star Game, we now know who the popular vote is.
We did it. Gene Segura is the winner. Woo-hoo. Thanks to us and, what was it, 13.6 million votes?
Yeah, but we're responsible for 13 million of that.
Yeah, I think so. Fantastic job of the Mariners to get the word out and get people excited about it. And really
our
cool.
co-worker Shub.
Yeah.
They brought all that
co-worker
information.
Paul.
Right. And they've never been even in the running for finals for the fan votes. For them to be winning it the first time is pretty cool.
Nice.
And who else was voted in on the National League?
It was Jesus Aguilar, yeah, from from Milwaukee, from the Brewers. They had a pretty good marketing
that
campaign.
Guy's a doctor.
Too. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
Dr. Seuss. It's true.
The Brewers had a good marketing campaign for Jesus Aguilar. They said, "Do you believe in Jesus? Like, do you believe in Jesus?" Was their slogan for their marketing campaign.
Cool.
It was pretty big with the religious community.
Sure.
Well, Gene Segura was very excited, and he released a video, and here's some of the audio.
It means a lot. It means it's a tough league.
Yeah.
To be able to get my second one and see the support that, all my teammates, my family, friend back in the DR give me the support and voting to me, a lot of time. It's made me feel really good and, happy they made it, and I'm going to enjoy this one.
Yeah. That was Ali G, for sure. Me go happy about baseball.
No.
That's, I think, what he said.
Up next for your Mariners. Angels again. First pitch 7:07 on Root Sports with the Big Maple on the mound versus Tyler Skaggs. Danny's favorite quarterback turned baseball player,
Tebow!
was also at the All-Star game.
Hey, we got it right that time.
We bought a ticket.
It was the minor league, the Double A.
Minors as in nobody's over 18.
Yeah, pretty much. Except him. He's grandpa.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Tim Tebow doubled on his first at bat and actually played an awesome game.
Well, you got to remember, he's swinging at minor league pitches.
Right. He's like the best high school baseball player in the country.
Exactly.
Except he's like the 12th best high school baseball player in the country.
And he's 900 years too old to be playing in high school.
World Cup action yesterday. Croatia defeated England 2-1. They advanced to the finals where they will meet France. 8 o'clock start time on Sunday. The third place playoff game is between Belgium and England, and that happens Saturday at 7 a.m.
Why don't they make these things a little bit later? I mean, I realize that we're not the whole of their target audience, but I like the 11 a.m. games. That's fine. And
you got to get a grip on that. Your time is the most valuable time of any human being in America.
It is.
That's the way I go through my day.
Why do I have to watch this game
They've
at 7 a.m.?
inconvenienced you. I am with you.
You make me feel uncomfortable drinking beers at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. I mean, I'll do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got it.
Wimbledon is underway, but everybody talking about yesterday's match in which the number one player in the whole wide world lost. Roger Federer lost to who? A guy named Kevin Anderson out of South Africa.
Who?
Exactly.
Where?
So this dude will either play Milos Raonic or American John Isner in the semis on Friday. Go Isner. Rooting for them.
Go
Isner.
Isner. Go Tips.
Yeah, what up?
Sports this morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, you call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. On tomorrow's show, we have a lot of action. 7:50, if you can tell us where has Sarah's Beaver been, Foo Fighters tickets could be yours. We've got tickets to see Paul Rogers at 7:20. But before we wrap up today's show, I want to remind you guys about tonight. Derek, tell people where they can go hang out with you.
Tonight is round 2 of the Battle of the Puget Sound Bands at Muckleshoot Casino's Club Galaxy. Tori and I will be out there hosting the event as we watch 3 bands compete for a spot in the finals and a shot at the $10,000 first place cash prize. The first band hits the stage at 8, so come hang out with us. It's going to be a fun time.
That sounds like a good time. Derek and Tori tonight out at Muckleshoot. You know who else is a good time?
I will tell you this, that this guy, my friend, won the very first Battle of the Bands. And I don't mean the first one around here. I mean the first one. I think sticks were drummed on leather skins.
Oh, yeah, before there were battles, before there were bands.
And we
won
used
the
to talk
Battle of
into
the
a
Bands.
microphone years before it was invented. But he is, if you ask
Wait,
me,
how old is this guy?
Steve Slayton, 187 years old minimum.
Oh.
You don't think he didn't earn being the, what is he, the gray wizard? The gray fox. The gray fox.
Silver Fox.
Yeah, that's the
happening?
other one. It's weird.
the old gray fox.
The old gray
Man.
fox. He ain't what he used to
You
be.
know we tell him the things that you say before he comes in.
That's why he leaves so fast. You should have heard your introduction. Anyway, he is my friend Steve Slayton. He's going to walk in this door. He's going to play a bunch of rock and roll for you because that's what he does. We'll get out of his way. Bye.